All eyes are on the prize as our highest flyers vying for supremacy in our Stage 3 playoffs. It is all about these guys being young, being hungry, being very talented.
There's a Yimpy over the top. Barrage boosted. Get out of here, Shanghai Dragons! The Shanghai Dragons will go to the Stage 3 finals, and Bumper doesn't look like he believes it.
It's big, and it's huge, but that's it. That's all she wrote. Lock, stock, and San Francisco Shock. They're hurtling towards our stage finals at the speed of sound. The stage is set, baby. Stage final coming at ya.
Now it's time for the main event.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. We're coming to you live in sunny Los Angeles here at the Blizzard Arena. And we have one heck of a match here for you today. The Stage 3 Finals, Shanghai Dragons, our 8th seed team, making it in, going up against the San Francisco Shock, looking to see if they can take it all home. I am South Ilios King, joined by Wolf Schroeder, and man, I'm so excited to be here and to bring you guys the action.
Two completely different styles clashing in this stage finals. The Shock trying to repeat what New York has done, taking 2 titles, doing it back-to-back against a team who's never made it to the finals before. You can't really ask for a better story than this.
No, you cannot. I mean, Stage 2, the first time that they had made it into the playoffs. Now they are in the grand finals, the first time a Chinese organization has been able to make it this far. They have their toughest opponent yet in the San Francisco Shock.
And this is a bracket that no one could have really predicted. You know, our analysts all tried. No one was successful in the end. But there were, you know, in this bracket, it was impossible to say who was going to end up in the finals, who was going to make it here. The Dragons surprised a lot of people. Shock stayed firm despite not adapting to the meta in the same way the other teams have. And this is, I think, a final that was one of the least expected outcomes when you looked at that top 8.
I mean, absolutely. The fact that the 8th seeded team, the lowest one to qualify into the playoffs, the last team to make it through, are now in the grand finals for the first time ever. Shanghai Dragons, they have had a very tough road to be here. Taking down New York, then Vancouver, the top 2 teams in the playoffs. But now they're here and they're looking to take it all home.
They had a lot of problems, you know, through the regular season here as well. They barely got through at the end, taking out Philadelphia Fusion there after losing to Charge just the day before. And they made it here. They made this finals from top 8. Taking a look at DM on the Widowmaker, he's topping half the most relevant metrics here in the league, and he's second when you look down the rest of the list. He's the best Widowmaker player in the world, and his counterpart, Ding, started off on the Sombra. Now he's the Pharah player in this meta that everyone is watching, everyone is looking out for.
I mean, this DPS duo has been the foundation for the squad, but of course, they are working as a solid unit. These guys have been fantastic. Gamsu leading the charge, being the captain of that squad. Fantastic addition for them, but the supports, Koma, Luffy, Youngjin coming in with a Doomfist on occasion. It's an entire working unit here, the Shanghai Dragons, and they've never looked better. But guys, we got Emily standing by. She was able to talk to the Shanghai Dragons, so let's go ahead and hear what they had to say.
Thank you, guys. Emily here. I got to speak with the Shanghai Dragons before today's match, and I asked them about the comparisons of their current 2019 season to the 0-40 season of last year. And while it's the same franchise, the coaches wanted to make it clear that this is an entirely new team, saying, we beat NYXL, we beat Vancouver, and now we're gonna beat the San Francisco Shock. The positive mental attitude has been a breath of fresh air for the Dragons, and with Ding and DM paving the way as their star DPS duo, Shanghai's Crosshair is set on taking home the Stage 3 finals and overcoming yet another favorite opponent. All right, that's all from me. Back to you, Wolf and Ilios.
Thank you very much, Emily. Good to hear that they are staying level. They have that positive outlook, but they still have their toughest opponent yet. San Francisco Shock, they are our defending champions right now. We're able to take it away from Vancouver in Stage 2. Now looking to get the back-to-back.
Now, Vancouver, you know, was also one of these teams that really wasn't adapting at the beginning of Stage 3. They took a long time to actually finally realize they need to play the Sombra, put Stitch on this. They take San Francisco Shock. They take Stage 2 finals, eliminate Vancouver. These two teams developed similarly in Stage 3, but it's Shock who makes it to the finals off the back of mostly Rascals Batiste. They're playing their own style, and that's how they got here.
Yep, the head-to-head coming here into the season. Shock always able to come out on top of them. Shanghai Dragons were able to get that one map in the quarterfinals of the Stage 2 playoffs. the first team to take a map off of them in all of stage 2.
That's right.
But they couldn't get that win. They couldn't advance into the semis, so this is still the furthest that Shanghai has ever been to date.
Indeed, they were able to break, the golden stage right afterwards. The first map they played, Shanghai Dragons took it away. But otherwise, overall, it has been very shock dominant. Don't think it's necessarily going to go that way tonight.
Well, we'll have to see what happens, but let's go ahead. I'm taking a look at my watch. It's time to get things started. You guys ready? Let's go ahead and bring in our first team. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, the Shanghai Dragons.
The fan favorites, Shanghai Dragons, walk into their very first stage final. It's Gamsu, a last-minute addition at the beginning of the season, who's the leader of this new roster. The Shanghai Dragons jersey is heavy. The legacy left behind in season 1, the 0-40, it weighs on you. There's a lot of pressure. Everyone is talking about 0-40 to stage finals, but for these Korean players, this starting 6, this team is all about proving that they are the best team in the world. They are the best all-Korean roster, a team that struggled through multiple finals in the past in Korea. You talk about the history of Kongdu Panthera. Luffy was in that finals Apex Season 2, lost to Lunatic High. You look when they go into the finals against Runaway. Runaway takes it in an 8th tiebreaker map. They defeat that Runaway squad, Vancouver, yesterday on their route here to the grand finals. And this is not about 2018. This is not about 0-40. This is about this 6-man roster proving they are the best in the world, and that is what they are looking to do tonight.
Just have to take down one more opponent to prove that. Let's go ahead and bring them out on the stage, the defending champions, the San Francisco Shock.
There are fan favorites in the Dragons, but consistency is the opponent here. San Francisco Shock, 3 back-to-back stage finals. They fell in the first, they took the second, and looking to be the last stage champions of the 2019 season. They are the antagonist of Shanghai's story. They are the bad guys for the Shanghai fans, but you've got to respect the consistency. But we are seeing a very different look here for the Shock heading into Oasis, our first map.
I mean, absolutely, living up to the name, trying to surprise their opponents here. Architect, Striker, and Smurf all will be starting for the San Francisco Shock. It's been a considerable amount of time since we've seen some of these guys. So, Shanghai Dragons, will they be offset by this?
It's a good question, The biggest puzzling pick here is Smurf on the main tank, regardless of the DPS prowess of Architect and Striker in the past. Architect, also, by the way, former teammate of Gamsu, will face him here in this final. Striker's legacy on Boston, a big candidate for last year's MVP with his Tracer play. He's in here again, unexpected, but it's Smurf, I think, that we're all looking at right now. If you look at his performances versus Supers and how little he's been fielded this year in the main tank role, that's the most puzzling major pick here. I got to look at this and say one of the big changes is this is now a 5-man Korean man roster with Moth heading up the support line, and that may be part of the reason why they do have Smurf in here for this specific, unique strategy.
Well, we'll see how he performs here. Taking a look at our map set presented by Toyota, we'll be starting off on Oasis, and then from there, it is all a mystery. Still a first of 4 series. As we get ready to jump in, the loser gets the next map pick. Try to edge their way back into the series, but Oasis is where it all begins now here on Garden for the first round.
Architect, has been a great FAR player throughout his career. Back in Korea before the Overwatch League, we saw him play it quite a bit. Like his teammate Rascal as well. And when you take a look at the lineups here, we're gonna start to figure out exactly what the plan is for Shock. All eyes on their hero picks right now. Striker Tracer in the finals, it's been a long time. Let's see how he can perform here. He may be the X Factor. He may be able to pressure DM enough to prevent the Widow here from just carrying the fight, as it's been throughout stage 3 for the Dragons.
Yep, pretty similar comps here, but DM gonna be on that Widow. No surprises, and already gonna have a kill. Sting takes down Architect, asserting his dominance on that Bara. Yoben gonna be bioed out, going lower and lower on the Roadhog, but still manages to kill off Youngjin, but Ding is there to scoop the second kill. So advantage still gonna be there for the side of the Shock. Red starting to come in, Sleep gonna be connecting now. Zabara hits the ground, they manage to finish him off. It's an all-out brawl as DM is playing up onto the point here with the Widowmaker. It's a shot onto Violet, dinks Smurf in the head, jumps over onto the high ground to escape the rockets coming through. And the first half, the first lockdown, goes the way of the Shanghai Dragons.
Shanghai Dragons win the FAR battle overall. Damage output much higher for Ding, who despite the sleep there, was able to get into position to poke at the back line. Striker will swap over to the Hanzo here. The Tracer pick, unsuccessful. And, you know, I gotta say, this makes a lot more sense to me. It's really greedy to think that you're gonna be able to get into the backline with a Tracer in this meta, even without a Brigida on the other side. I like this a lot more, but they're slow going here through the shield.
Well, looking for the whole hook, managed to find Choi Hyoban, the Bionade comes through and DM finishes him off. Gets that kill in. Violet as well, gonna be tagged up, will get topped up by Moth. Getting the heals running through. Oh, angles here for DM. Doesn't get the headshot there, however. So can't get rid of Architect. Res gonna be used. And as they come back through, that's gonna be kills going the way. As Youngjin gets taken down, but DM manages to get a double kill now. And Shanghai Dragons will maintain control of the point.
Big sleep on the Violet there to help clean him up. And now the San Francisco Shock gonna have to reset once again. Striker swaps over the Widow. You have to imagine he's been practicing this a lot right now in preparation to potentially duel DM. And that's, you know, given that there's a chance it was going to be the Dragons, an unlikely chance, number 8 seed.
Well,
but he's picked already.
Yeah, not a good start.
Way overextending, way out of position, very aggressive positioning there, and he gets picked for it.
They do have the res, they put him back through, but now that's going to be taken out of the fight for a while. Hulk comes up with nothing, so Youngjin can't line up the hook. Still will have that one ready to go as they try to advance over onto the point. Shanghai Dragons, you see that highlighted there in the top of the screen. Ult efficiency looking pretty good right now. Have only used the supercharger and the infra sight to gain vision on the enemy team. Luffy, however, going to be taken down off the bat. Choi Hyoban manages to come up with the kill, and the Bionade's now out of the fight. That's going to be huge. Mirage comes down from Architect, manages to find a double, looking for a third. Luffy will be taken down. And that is going to be the clean sweep, pretty much ding. The last one left alive. Flip comes through. Shanghai Dragons, they're at 93%.
Yeah, it's nearly the 99 flip, so the Dragons are still going to feel comfortable. They're still massively in the lead here, but this is line of sight advantage for the first time for Striker now. So it's tougher for DM to peek out, to look for those headshots against Architect. Makes Architect's life easier. As you can see, he's already getting the first pick because he's no longer under threat of DM's Widow because it's Striker who controls that matchup. And now, for the Dragons, it's an ult issue here. They can't even build ultimates. They don't have any initiation right now. The style they're running is about controlling the point in sightlines. Now they've lost it. It's tough. You know, that Barrage, you're not going to have a great time getting that onto the point without a Sombra, without an EMP to set it up.
Attack getting tapped once there. Direct hit comes through from Ding. Can't get the double. Oh, answering back. Just trying to soften him up as much as possible. 54% at the moment for the Barrage. Ding still holding on to his. Setting it up can be difficult, especially when you don't have a Sombra on your team. Sleeping Bionade over onto Youngjin off screen. He's going to be taken down by the whole hog there. Choi Hyoban finally going to be interrupted, but it's too late. The damage is done. In Shock, they will keep holding this point.
Now this is where it starts to get really scary for the Dragons because at this point, you know, you're out of tools. You know, I mean, Youngjin on the hog, he's a great Roadhog player, but again, with both of these compositions, again, they're mirror comps. The defender has the advantage. They have the control of these choke points, right? Taking this back was the best thing Shock could have ever hoped to do. And now for the Dragons, they're going to have to win an uphill fight. You know, it's going to have to be a fight where they don't have those sightlines. DM at least will have the infra sight here to give them that additional information. There it is. So now Striker's going to have to play passive. This is when they need to come in. This is when Ding needs to get into position.
DM looking for that angle, has that infra sight through, so you can see there's walls in action. Manages to take down Violet. Now the Nano Boost going to be out of the fight unless they can get the res off. Striker managed to find Youngjin, but now Smurf taken down as well. Ding on the hunt. He's looking for Architect asleep. Comes in. Barrage now going to be laid in. He'll start coming out. Gets rid of the supercharger. San Francisco Shock, they hit 99%, but the team is still getting picked off. Now the flip comes back through. They have to tag this right now.
And they don't have the staying power of the Nano. It just comes in now.
Trying to get around the back. Smurf barely manages to tag in to force out overtime here onto the point. Adaptive shield going to be used. Architect swapping over onto the Genji. Hook comes through. Smurf taking a lot of damage. Falling low, a little bit more. Then finally managed to finish him off, and Moth is going to be gone as well. So now it's just Violet, but he's out of the fight. The DPS from San Francisco Shock do not stand a chance here on their own. Striker eliminated. It's a close one, but the first round of Oasis goes to the Shanghai Dragons.
DM leads the damage output in terms of the Widow v Widow, and he's able to retake the point off that pick on Violet, meaning there was no nano boost, no staying power. But I have to say, the big takeaway from this first round is that San Francisco Shock, with this new line of Architect, Striker, and Smurf, held their own against the Shanghai Dragons, mirroring their composition. The Dragons are playing with their starting 6, and they still brought them to a 99-99. That means, at least if you look at zoomed in on Oasis, there's a great chance that Shock could actually take this first map, despite the first loss here. And it's a good look for the Shock going into this series. Winning this map is huge, as it will give them map pick advantage for the rest of this first to 4. That's what the desk was saying earlier. Control is the most important map, and it absolutely is.
Now pushing forward, Striker starting off on the Hanzo this time. DM gonna be moving over onto the Sombra.
Not a lot of sight lines for Widow on this map in particular.
Yeah.
A lot of chokes and a lot of Orisa barriers to shoot through.
It's not gonna be the best for you, but that's gonna be the whole hook coming through. Gamsu taken down.
Flank.
Very good start here for the side of San Francisco Shock. Youngjin just tanking that arrow damage, takes a breather, heals himself back up. He's trying to push forward and take down the Striker, but he's unable to do so. This time, though, the Shock are the first ones to lock this down.
They had too much trouble dealing with the consistent damage output we were seeing there in the front line of the Dragons. Ding, you know, in general, obviously is the better far. You could see it in the ult percentage here, 66 to 36, but it's the hook coming through from Choi Ho-bin. It's the pressure there from Striker on the flank that gets him the first cap. Now they're going to swap over DM to match the Hanzo, but you don't have initiation with this, with no EMP building, so I'm concerned about that.
Well, Youngjin going to be taken down. And now Gamsu falling as well, so the front line unable to stand up against the Shock. We'll just go ahead and continue to maintain control at this point. Architect, ooh, has enough fuel to get back up, but DM was waiting on the low ground. Finds the kill, but Striker.
This is the concussive there, so not able to launch himself back the way he wanted to. And look at the damage output here now. It's not enough to take him out here. He's pocketed, and there's just not enough damage from an Ana.
Oh, but that's gonna be the hook. And that will be able to take him down, so the pick on Moth not gonna be leading to too much now. And a boost tossed through here on the Choi Ho-bin. Striker gonna be taken down. Youngjin trying to draw this one back through. Is Violent gets eliminated as well. Choi Ho-bin around the side, does take a breather, does keep himself topped up. But Smurf's gonna be eliminated now. DM trying to stay alive, trying to get the shots through. They will be able to do so. On the board now are the Shanghai Dragons. They get the flip 65% for the Shock.
It's important they got it at this moment because now they're going to have 6 ultimates to defend with. And for the same reasons we talked about previously, Architect here, he's going to have the barrage, but getting into position to use it is very challenging here as the attackers versus defenders who now control this point, taking it up to 99%. Dragons can use Nano Boost to keep themselves alive through a longer fight. They can Dragon Strike the zone, and here it comes!
Yep, Dragon Strike going to be tossed out. Choi Ho-bin takes that one up. Negates a lot of that damage with a breather. Supercharger going to be lost, so not getting that damage amp over onto the side for the Shock.
Great trade for the Dragons.
Now they have their own Supercharger down, but it doesn't last very long. Architect, he's got the rockets lined up. Hook comes through onto Youngjin. He gets bionated, so cannot get healed up. Will be taken down. Barrage, however, going to be tossed into the back, and that's going to be a double going through. Ding will get taken down by Violent. The res comes in. Architect back into the fight, who has a barrage of his own, so they might actually be able to flip this back through still. Gamsu going lower, the leap over the top. Striker comes up with the kill. Now looking for Luffy, who just does not stand a chance.
This is a winning matchup for Choi Ho-bin in terms of the Roadhog versus Roadhog. He's getting the more impactful hooks. A lot of those are set up by Smurf. And you start to feel like the main reason why Smurf is in over Super here is his ability to communicate in Korean with Choi Ho-bin, but also his Orisa prowess, you know? He looks like a very practiced Orisa. Maybe he's been spending his entire stage waiting for this moment, and it's working out. Here we go again!
Yep, that's going to be another hook coming in. Oh. Youngjin just does not stand a chance. Nothing to be done about that one here for the side of the Dragons, who need to get a flip very imminently. 90% about to be on the board for the Shock, looking to close this out and extend us to a final round. Direct hit connects onto Architect. He'll push his way into the back with the rest of his team, but Ding's still applying pressure on that flank, but now DM gone in the front lines. Striker comes up with the kill. He's going to be taking a nap as the Dragon Strike comes through there, trying to interrupt that ultimate, but we're unable to do so. Ult goes through, pulls 2 up. Now Ding going to be taken down. Brez not going to be possible as Coma gets eliminated as well. Barrage going to be dumped in. Nano for good measure just to get that damage mitigation, and the OT Wick will burn away. 100% for the Shock. One more round.
You want to talk about, you know, unusual main tanks. Gamsu came in for the Shanghai Dragons as a last-minute trade right before the season began. He started his very first game on the Wrecking Ball. He's shown a lot deeper of a hero pool since then. But Smurf comes in today as an Orisa specialist, and you do see Choi Ho-bin matching hooks with halts consistently, and he's winning the matchup against Youngjin in terms of the Roadhog versus Roadhog because of it, because of that coordination. And we're going to take a look at this last barrage here from Architect.
Yeah, getting the kill onto Ding was separated from Coma, who is then just grounded over on the side.
It's all easy from here. You even see the Hulk come through there onto Youngjin as well, just to guarantee. Now, as we head into this round, this is the more open round you'd expect the Shanghai Dragons style to work best in. But in the mirror, because of the Roadhog aspect, San Francisco Shock are winning the mirror on a map you would think the Dragons would be favored in because of their style in Stage 3. See if Striker can compete in the Widow v Widow this time, where he very slightly failed on round 1.
Taking a bit of damage here, just trying to break down that barrier for now. Violet going to be eliminated. Dink coming up with a nice one. Good sight lines for TM. He has that headshot, takes that bar up right out of the sky, and now Dink can push forward. Oh, the hook! He dodged it, but instead Koma intercepts. Does get taken down, but Shanghai Dragons still coming out on top here.
The skies are not safe when you don't have Widow advantage. So we do see the near car kill here for Ding.
Win, push him into traffic.
The Widowmaker battle, this is a 2v2, Widow Pharah versus Widow Pharah. When the Widow has control of sightlines, you can't peek as the Pharah, so you can't do damage. If you try, you're being greedy, you're making a risky play. If you get sniped by DM, best Widowmaker player in the world at the moment, then everything falls apart. And right now they have that sightline advantage, so Ding gets to be the one who dictates the pace. He does the damage here, while Architect is just trying to get into position.
A lot of damage coming through. That's going to be the nano boost into the barrage. An instant 2 kills coming in. Architect, he's trying to dunk him, but instead he lands down here onto the ground, will be eliminated, and Youngjin is set up to help protect his fellow DPS player.
Now we saw this same situation on our first round where the Infrasight allowed DM to recontrol the point. That was the one time he was able to open with a snipe despite line of sight disadvantage. Striker has that same opportunity here now. And if he can find a back pick, if he can flank, if he can keep it a secret, I think they've got a great chance to retake, but it has to be now. Here it comes, he's popped it. Can he find a kill?
We're looking for it, the hook comes in. It's not Striker delivering it, but Trey Hillman having that infrasight as well, extended to him and the rest of the Shock squad. Does manage to get the hook through. Pulls Ding down, he's gonna be res now. DM pops the infrasight. Hook not gonna find a connection.
They want that 99, they're just gonna stall this. That is the main point of the game here.
If not, just try to win it out. Barrier denying a lot of sightlines, but DM still manages to find Smurf as he pops around it.
No way!
And he gets the double tap off the grapple onto Striker. DM, this man is an absolute machine.
There were doubters.
Up close and personal, looking for Striker as he's been freshly rezzed back through. Poison Trap will reveal him for a bit. Pops back up over the top here with the launch pad, but we're at overtime. 3 members still gone on the side of the Shock.
Looks like a Shanghai map to me. Smurf's caught here.
Yep, they hook him in, they take him down. The Wrecking Ball, the best chance to try to elongate this. Choi Hyo, but doing what he can, will use the recall to get his HP back, but still has to make his way over onto the point again. Ball rejoins, tags in here for the moment. No one really focus firing in. Choi Hyo manages to pick down 1. DM gonna be eliminated, the hook not gonna connect.
This is just really desperation here for the Shock.
Yeah, doing what they can, but Trey Hillman just does not stand a chance. Hack coming in now onto Youngjin as they try to keep holding out hope, but they clear them off the point. That OT bar is going to plummet very rapidly. Ding pushing his way around, nearly has the barrage. Whole Hog comes out, Smurf gonna go down. Ball taken out, Trey Hillman gone now as well, and Architect, he's bionated, he's eliminated. And Shanghai Dragons, they have the first map.
I mean, there were doubters for DM as being the best Widow in the world, but I think they are getting silenced more and more by every map you see. It's the DPS duo that's winning this for the Dragons. The Widow battle is won by the Pharah battle is won by the Widow, and they together, best Pharah Widow duo in the league right now. It's tough to be shocked, but it was a weird starting lineup. Let's see if they make some changes.
A win on the board for the newcomers here in the final. Let's see if they can extend that, or if we get a tie when we come back.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile. And by State Farm. Whatever life brings your way, State Farm is here to help life go right.
Welcome to Assist of the Week, presented by State Farm. The Toronto Defiant had just captured the point in a close match against the Atlanta Reign during their homestand, but the Reign came roaring back to immediately recapture. In the last fight, the Defiant's Yakpung tried to Earth Shatter, but was canceled at the perfect time with Airster's Brigitte.
The Shatter comes in, gets canceled though. Yakpung not able to get it off in time, and he's gonna drop. Atlanta Reign charging back into this one. They lose their Reinhardt, but they've got enough here.
And welcome back, Shanghai Dragons able to kick off this final series. Get the win on Oasis, now have that on the board. Map pick gets ready to go to the side of the San Francisco Shock.
It was a gamble, Ilios, for the San Francisco Shock to bring some of their oldest players, Architect, Striker, and Smurf, into the lineup. They wanted to run the mirror, and in terms of the Roadhog, the halts and the hooks worked perfectly, but in the longer-term battles, it was the Widowmaker and Pharah duels that won out for the Shanghai Dragons. Architect versus Ding on the Pharah. 6K the leader is Ding in hero damage, 19 to 10 on final blows, but it's not a one-man job. When you're Architect in this case, you have to deal with the best Widowmaker player in the world. Where you fly, where you stand, and where you use your jump to try to get to different locations always puts you under threat of being shot by the enemy Widow. And when Striker is just not able to come up big, you're always going to have that disadvantage.
Yeah, I mean, only one fewer death on the side of Ding, but nearly double the eliminations. It just means that he was doing more when he was on the board, when he was out there for his squad. So, solid start here for the Shanghai Dragons. Question is, can they keep the ball rolling? Now the ball is in the Shock's court. They have the map pick as we get ready to move into Hybrid.
Now, moving into Hybrid, that's really important. We'll talk about maps in a moment, but I do want to hit on the substitutions that we do have coming through here, because as you'd expect, we will have all three main roster players returning in Rascal, Sinatra, and Super. So the starting six that we've seen dominate and take this team to 3 back-to-back stage finals is what we are going to see as we head into the next map type. But it's important to note that when you look at maps here and what is very much a stylistic difference between these two teams, the maps you pick here could come back to bite you in the later series if you can't win the maps that you feel you're favored on. And for the Shock here, Numbani will be the first of such maps. It's a great map for the Shanghai Dragon style in terms of the Pharah, though. So, you know, it's a questionable pick, but hey, if you win this one, you feel like you've really taken the wind out of Shanghai's sails and you've taken back momentum.
Absolutely. Want to see that tied series here on the board. Go the distance. Put as many rounds in as humanly possible. You can see the records there. 3-3 for the side of the Dragons. Shock 5-2 historically on Numbani. So do have a bit of an edge up there, at least in theory. We'll be starting on that defense first.
So one of the reasons why Shock like Numbani is because Rascal is really the only Batiste player we're seeing consistently in the league. You know, when you look at San Francisco Shock Batiste percentages versus the league, they're 6 times the league average in terms of Batiste usage right now. And on this map, if you see just down to the behind the point, there's an area called the Atrium, and you use that to hide behind Super Shield right on the Reinhardt, operate around the Pharah attackers. You're going to see that they're going to drop down to the point, they're going to go into that room, and that's where they can rely on Super Shield. But what Rascal gives you is more consistent healing in AoE on this Batiste, as well as some extra range damage. So you have that to help deal with the Pharah composition.
Well, Shanghai trying to make up their minds. Ding will be swapping over onto the Pharah. DM going back to the Widowmaker, and Youngjin sticking through with the Doomfist. Haven't seen this yet in the series, but we know that he is very well versed on this pick. Brings out a lot of explosive damage if he can line up that rocket punch. Smash somebody into a wall.
Very strong against what Shock are running too. They're reliant on formation, and it makes it a lot easier for the Doomfist to get those wall picks.
And also get punched right out of that immortality field that Rascal's going to be looking to offer up. DM going around into the back. Rascal trying to survive, gets punched out of that immortality field, but no one there for the follow-up to try to finish him off. Now it's going to be expiring soon, and Youngjin uppercuts him out of it, manages to find the kill already. A couple picks coming through DM. Unhindered at the moment, will finally get jumped on by Treyhoven, but now Super is gone. Luffy going to be the only elimination coming through here for the Shock. And that will just be a very swift cap onto A.
And this is the style of the Shanghai Dragons shining through. You know, if you looked at the UI and the 12 heroes we have in this map, right before that fight broke out. It was San Francisco, old style versus the new, and what Shanghai Dragons are running. And Numbani is a map that really suits what Shanghai are doing. So that's why I had concerns, and
Young Jin, close quarter combat, but there's too many. Not gonna be able to take everybody down.
But he baits the immortality field. Every time you see that die in the kill feed, the Rascal's skull there, that means that they don't have that for a long time, and that's super critical.
Need to get that down again so they can try to set up the barrage. He's going to be dropping low here onto the ground, trying to find that pickup on a Violet. Rascal now going to be taking a snap. That's going to be the opportunity. He pulls the trigger on it. Joey Hilbin going to be melted out of that mech. They get the D-suit. Young Jin with a meteor strike takes down 2.
And Gamsu set it up. He made sure that Joey Hilbin would be knocked into the air and unable to defense matrix in that area. He's been so great at disrupting the backlines of these teams, but sometimes the front lines now on the Wrecking Ball. Remember, it's the hero he started playing with. Take a look at Young Jin here as well. In all the chaos, there's no retreat. You're stuck between a rock and a hard place. He's going to get the meteor strike in for the double.
Yep. Dropping down. Comes up with those kills, and Shanghai Dragons at the moment just kind of cruising through this next phase of Numbani. Nearly rolled up to point B. Get that checkpoint, get that extra time in the time bank. Still nearly 4 minutes ready to go. Tank gonna be hacked for the moment, so will be grounded, but it seems like no one from Shock is going to be able to try to take him out. Alt's gonna have to use that sound barrier as well, just to try to keep everybody topped up, and the super swings forward. TM just cuts him down.
Now he's got this angle here. Immortality field down, and the amplification matrix isn't gonna do much for you. This is definitely gonna be the cap in 5 minutes. The advantage here, and Sinatra's finally getting close to an EMP.
Violet's gonna be staggered as well.
I gotta say, you know, the choice of Numbani is not paying off for the Shock right now. They're getting dominated in a matchup that has been winnable for Faro Widow across the board all throughout Stage 3. This is the more standard comp right now. San Francisco going back to the past. EMP is late, and I don't know if it's gonna be a game changer here. It can buy some time, but things are really dire for the Shock at the moment.
4.5 minutes. That's a very arduous time bank to be looking at if you're the Shock here on this defense. Absolutely is possible to try to take this one back into their hands. EMP out from Sinatra, manages to catch 2. He gets tagged up here for the moment. Gamsu around the side, still just going to be getting topped up, has that pocket coming in.
It was
He's alive now, that self-destruct going to be gone.
The EMP didn't do what they wanted. They wanted to get the pick onto Ding, but they weren't able to follow up. And now look what he's got. Free damage in the sky.
Yep, super. Taking a lot here in front. The Nano is going to have to be used just to ensure that he stays alive. Rocket's still going down. Rascal, he's got to use that immortality field. The barrage is still online from Ding. He might be able to set up a play now.
Field's going to be down in just a moment here, too. Here we go.
Gamsu up over the top. Minefield going to be dropped in. Drop into the back. Both supports hugging each other in fear. But Ding does not care. He does not show mercy. He takes them down, and the cart rolls through. Shanghai Dragons making it look easy on the Shock's map pick.
On the Shock's map pick, and that's the biggest concern we have going forward here. What a start. Absolute control to Ding. He finds the backline, he finds the support. Sinatra Sombra, a little bit lackluster so far.
3 minutes and 46 seconds, the time to beat. We'll see what the Shock can get done on their attack when we come back.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Toyota, official North American partner of the Overwatch League. Toyota, let's go places.
Heroes never die. This is not your time.
San Francisco.
And welcome back, Shanghai Dragons on the cusp of being able to make this a 2-0 start. A fantastic push from them. 3 minutes and 46 seconds set here on Numbani. Shock getting ready to go on their attack to see how they can fare. Make sure you guys stick around for halftime, though. The desk is coming up to break down the first half for you. But today, after today's match, be sure to tune in to Watch Point. This coming Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific for a very special Stage 4 preview. Puck and the crew will be breaking down everything you guys need to know heading into our final stage of the season. May even have a few surprise announcements up their sleeves, so you don't want to miss it.
I can tell you guys definitely do not want to miss that one. Make sure you check it out. Stage 4 is going to be epic. A great conclusion to this wonderful year of Overwatch League before we head into playoffs. But right now, zooming in on our Stage 3 finals, you know, this is Numbani, where you've got a lot of open spaces. There's a lot of areas where Pharah will excel. It's an area where when you're fighting against Youngjin on the Doomfist, you know, you're going to have problems in small choke points. Now the Shock will either have to take the stairwell to the left here, where they're going to find themselves having Doomfist problems and Pharah issues, or they're going to have to break straight through the center. On their way through the center, they'll take a ton of damage as they try to get into that hallway, but they are taking the left side approach instead. Again, not easy here. You're going to rely a lot on Batiste's AoE healing, as well as Lucio, obviously, as you come through. And here comes Youngjin on the flank!
Yeah, he's waiting around the side, but as soon as he sees that Zarya bubble on Sinatra, he knows that he can't go in, doesn't want to feed any ult charge or energy over to that Zarya.
Well, they're getting pelted by Ding right now at the moment. He's just uncontested.
Youngjin just looking for an avenue of approach to get his way back into the fight, trying to pop somebody here. Right now, just going to be operating around the low ground super. He's dropping low. They hold him in. Now he's going to be hacked out. Mortality field does come through, but Ding manages to eliminate that. He nearly has a barrage online. Already at 89%, but Youngjin goes forward with the rockets and manages to take him down. Youngjin now up onto the high ground as well, going to be taken out. San Francisco Shock, they look to close out this point A cap very swiftly, about as swiftly as we saw from the Shanghai Dragons. They cannot really contest this one as Gamsu gets eliminated. That will be the cap. 5.5 minutes on the clock here for the Shock.
It's all about Choi Hyobin, got those critical kills, takes the Pharah out of the sky, gets the follow-up kill there 2 in a row to start getting control to the San Francisco Shock. He eliminated the biggest issue that they had, which was the Pharah, the range damage they couldn't contest with. Choi Hyobin comes in, punishes the greed from Ding, and this is now a world where the Shock could match the time bank of the Shanghai Dragons. Felt impossible moments before, but they have turned this around.
Still a very good chance to get the recontest here for the side of the Dragons. They have that EMP barrage combo online.
Yep,
and we need to make sure that they can hit Violet and focus fire that immortality field.
That is exactly what they're looking to do here. Look at the disruption already set up, messing up the formation. Here we go.
Jump forward, EMP going to be coming through. Violet already just picked off. Youngjin finds it himself. Mortality field is going to be used, but now there's a Bionate over on a super. He'll be eliminated. Choi Hyobin knocked out of the mech, and Moth likely going to be taken down.
And they did it just before Moth had his sound barrier ready. A needle thread here in terms of the ultimate usage, hitting that before the appropriate counter was ready. Now the Dragons looking to continue the fight. I think a bit of an overextension here from Youngjin. Great kill there for the Shock. They still have both support ultimates, so this contest should be easy.
Yep, and him getting taken down actually opens up for this play to happen. Koma and Luffy both going to be eliminated, so no supports in the next fight here for the Shanghai Dragons, if they take one at all. San Francisco Shock also steamrolling their way through to B.
Yeah, San Francisco Shock should have this for free. There's just no way to contest. Only DM is nearby, because he's looking to charge up EMP. Gets punished for it. But the Dragons' ultimates aren't as impactful as what the Shock have. They can shut down everything the Dragons hold right now. All Choi Hyobin has to do is open the defense matrix. As long as he's not picked or hacked, which is exactly what DM's going to be looking for, and the Shock have a great chance of matching or even beating the time bank here in this upcoming team fight. The combos here way better for them at the moment.
Yep, Gamsu going to be dropping into the back, pops that adaptive shield to try to stay alive. The mortality field already going to be used as Youngjin looks to wreak some havoc. So they want Meteor Strike as a bailout, and he's going to be using it now. Violet gets forced with the Transcendence. Youngjin just trying to play this one out patiently, drops in onto that ledge. keep himself safe, doesn't want to land in the middle of the Shock squad. Ding falling low, and Matrix going to be thrown down. A lot of extra damage going to be coming through, but Rascal gets taken out. Youngjin goes back in with the uppercut and manages to find the kill. We'll be able to slow up the cart here for now as Gamsu continues to play forward, keeping this one contested so they cannot advance.
Choi's the target they want, but they just can't get him.
Yeah, can't get that elimination yet. Ding at the moment as they stabilize, more than happy to hold on to that barrage because the EMP is nearly online for DM.
Exactly. Now the EMP is going to make the barrage so much more powerful. Great place on the Doomfist again from Youngjin. Him landing on the ledge there is not an accident. He used it to escape, as you say, but the damage will still go downwards to where he landed. So just understanding Doomfist incredibly well. One of the best Doomfists we've got right now in the Overwatch League. The EMP setup here is mostly to hit Moth if possible, but also Choyobin if he can delete the ability to stop that barrage with the Matrix. That's what he wants.
Oh, well, Youngjin going to be taken down. Violet, normally the prey, now the Predator has come out on top. Gets rid of him, alleviates a lot of pressure.
Moth's safe.
Moth in the back trying to avoid this EMP. Knows that it's going to be inevitable, but now Sinatra going to be taken down moments before he can get a Graviton Surge online. There's no mercy on the side of the Shock to try to res him back into the fight. Super is getting bumped around, will be taken down. And already, Shanghai Dragons have established a superior time bank for themselves.
And they're abusing Choyobin. They slept him, they hacked him.
And now he's knocked out of the mech.
You don't need a barrage when there's just no damage mitigation. And Gamsu has no fear. He's going into these fights alone, 1/4 health. He's baiting out the immortality field. That's another thing that the Shock have that can mitigate the massive damage the Dragons have, but it keeps getting baited out before they get to take the fight they want. They're gonna have 6 ultimates here going to the next fight, but you can't favor them in this particular fight because of the EMP factor. It's gonna have to be the next one you'd have to think that they could potentially take. Too greedy to try to commit now, and no energy.
They have a grab bomb combo. Energy can be built up pretty rapidly here. If he had the shield online,
he baits
pushes
it
around
again
to the side. Yep, the immortality field's gonna be taken down. Sinatra still with a slur of HP, trying to survive. Both support ultimates available here for the San Francisco Shock. They want to be able to hold on to those for that EMP when it comes in.
So incredibly good from Gamsu.
Graviton searches out. Sinatra manages to get the catch. Gamsu going to be eliminated, but now Rascal is gone. So no further immortality field, and he just goes into the back. Koma just slinks his way through, manages to find the res. Gamsu going to be back in the fight, but Youngjin going to be taken down as the shadow comes in. Ding drops the barrage, manages to find one. Sinatra gets cleaned up, but he doesn't last much longer after that. Super able to swing and get the kill onto the enemy Pharah. Gamsu still wreaking havoc in the back. Gets the nano boost. The EMP coming through. Super bionated, but the sound barrier shield comes in to try to keep the Reinhardt alive. TM just going to be snapping back over to the side, trying to keep himself safe.
Koma's insane!
Youngjin continues to find these picks.
Koma gets that res, he's healing up Loopy. Nobody's dying. Nobody's dying on the side of the Shanghai Dragons. That's another immortality field down. That's not going to be up when Rascal respawns here in the next few seconds. Gamsu is hitting these moments so critically, forcing out these immortality fields. They took the passive fight. They won the time bank war, but they might get more than that now.
And Violet nearly picked off as he swaps over onto the Moira. It would have been absolutely crucial if they could have gotten that kill there, but DM still just farms up 40%.
Rascal swapped over to the Hog now as well, taking a page out of Vancouver Titans book from yesterday. But it's a bit too late for the time bank. Let's see if they can finish the map.
Minefields again going to be dropped in. Hack goes through onto Rascal, so he cannot tell if he only gets pushed straight back into the mines. Youngjin plays it perfectly, gets the hit, now takes Choyobin out of the mech in midair. This guy is an absolute maniac.
Absolute crazy performance here from the Dragons. They are in their zone.
Violet's gone. Youngjin is just popping off. Another Meteor Strike nearly available. We'll get the kill onto Sinatra again. Now looks for a little bit more. Rascal, he's got that self-heal. He's trying to stay alive. They will go ahead and peel back. This is looking like a hold at the moment for the Dragons.
It is certainly looking like a hold. The San Francisco Shock don't have ultimates here to try to initiate a fight. Sinatra will have a grab in the longer fight, but it's the EMP barrage combo they're constantly worried about. And that's something that Shanghai Dragons are able to hold for so long. There's no immortality field this time either. It's gonna have to be a hook to start things off for the Shock, or there's no chance they're finishing this map, but the hook misses.
Yep, it misses. The EMP comes down and it catches absolutely everybody. Mirage now laid down on top of it all. They look for the team wipe. Choyobin is the last one left alive, but they will strategically leave him that way. He's trying to jump off the side. They finally finished him off. It's 15 seconds remaining for the Shock.
Sinatra walks in with no energy. They're gonna use Rascal on the Wrecking Ball. Super slept, he's so important here.
Slept at the front. They try to knock him off the side of the map. Be grateful that does not happen, but now Moth is gonna be gone. The coalescence coming out from Violet. They have to make it to the card. They barely managed to make their way through as Rascal swapped over onto the Wrecking Ball, but he's instantly taken down, as is Violet. Sinatra throws in the grab in desperation, but they cannot do it. Shanghai Dragons They move up 2-0 in this first of 4 series.
Shanghai wins San Francisco's map pick of Numbani, a map pick they may regret looking back, but this series looks like it might be a quick one if they can keep up this performance right now. This is their meta, and they are the fan favorites, and they're 2 maps away from taking their first title.
We've got halftime coming up to break down the action. San Francisco Shock gonna be heading into the back room to try to stabilize and bounce back to get some wins on the board.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
They don't just play for a team. They play for every fan, every rival, every moment, every match. And when everyone watching expects the best, they perform with the best.
This is not your time.
The Shanghai Dragons are trying to take this Cinderella run all the way to the finish line, and they're off to a fantastic start. They're currently up 2-0 over our returning champs, the San Francisco Shock. Welcome back, everybody. It's Chris Puckett alongside all the expert analysts here today. We've got Zoe, we've got Bren, we've got Sideshow, and a bit of a shocking scoreboard as we tune in after 2 maps. It's been all Shanghai so far. The Shock, heavy favorites, but they're playing into an upset again.
Yep, I predicted Shanghai. I'll just throw that one.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
But even I was not expecting it to be 2-0 at the half for Shanghai. I was expecting this to be 1-1. Realistically, I mean, this is a
To be fair, though, what Shock did
ridiculous
on
result.
that first map, that was a big gamble for them.
It was.
That was a big gamble, and it didn't pay off. However, I did see some good moments within it as well. Architect, I don't think he outplayed Ding on that Pharah. However, I do think that he managed to distract him appropriately and at least not give Ding quite as much space as he has been given in previous matchups. So from that perspective, I don't think it was awful. Smurf obviously brought in as the Orisa specialist. Yeah, didn't all quite work out for them, but it didn't look awful either.
Josh, why would you play 3 players that we haven't seen in a starting lineup since February, now in the Stage 3 finals?
Well, because it catches the Shanghai Dragons off guard. They have no idea what the starting roster is, and they also don't have any idea what the map is. Whereas the San Francisco Shock could have been scrimming with these guys, practicing with them for a long time. Now, I don't know whether that was the case. They came in looking fairly well coordinated, had a decent game plan, and I agree with Zoe, it wasn't a total throw of a map.
Yeah.
They didn't just throw it in the trash and move on to map 2. They gave it a good shot. and it was worth a punt, in my opinion. So I think it was a reasonable tactical decision from the coaching staff of the San Francisco Shock, and they made it very close, but it didn't work out. And now questions will be asked, because had they fielded their starting lineup in the first map, maybe they would have got a different result.
And I think we all give Shock a lot of room there, because the coaches in the past, they have been top-notch, always the best strategists.
That's what I mean. It was very high risk, high reward, but it's backfired tremendously now. And as we look at the highlights onto Numbani as a map, this was where it started turning for the worst, because this was the map that Shock was supposed to be winning definitively. Again, the hybrid maps that we're seeing here, this map type, Shanghai Dragons do not have a good record on all three that are currently in our map pool. They do not enjoy playing on them. And realistically, I think they should have picked Hollywood in terms of the map picks, because Shanghai have currently not won a single match on Hollywood.
North and 6.
You might wonder, North and 6. You might wonder why they would pick Numbani instead. I mean, there's theories. I was speaking to Matt, one of our producers. He seems to think that they might be saving it for a little bit later into the series.
Smart.
I think that's absolutely not. It could be like a strategy, but honestly, you play for the wins early on. You don't play for the late game, right?
I would agree.
It doesn't really make sense in that regard. So the question is now, why have they decided to go against, I guess, the weak point of the Shanghai Dragons and go for Numbani? And to be fair, it looked like it almost worked out, but it's just these final points. The Shanghai Dragons are very clinical running this comp here.
They are so good with this triple DPS comp, and if you play into the maps that work well for them as a strength, I think Shanghai are going to beat you every time. They have more practice than anybody else in the league with this composition, and they have higher individual skill on all three of those DPS roles than any other team.
To be fair, though, yeah, you can play into your opponent's weaknesses and pick the map they're the worst on, or you playing into your own strength, and Numbani is one of the best maps for Shock. Together with Eichenwalde. I think overall this stage they only lost 2 rounds on Numbani, so it's not an awful plan to begin with either.
Sure.
Now Numbani, we know it. It's a great map with a lot of verticality. You can run the Pharah, the jetpack, and rocket down from above. You can run the sniper at long ranges, but we haven't seen a whole lot of Doomfist on this map until recently. Josh, break down the attack for us. How did Shanghai pull off their first successful attack?
Yeah, they ran a strategy that I loved watching, because it was a set play, people moving all over the place, and it looks beautiful to watch. So I've got an Insights powered by Intel where I'm going to take you through the Numbani first point push from the Shanghai Dragons. So here's the setup going into it. This was the first round of attack, and San Francisco Shock have split their team into two groups of 3 on the high ground. Now, for Shanghai, they have one goal and one goal only. They want to take DM, their Widow, and place him behind here so that he's got the streets angle and can get this kind of sightline all the way through so that he can get this long-range sniper sightline. Now, how are they going to achieve this? They're going to push the Pharah and the Mercy around here, and they're going to take Youngjin on the Doomfist to poke in as well. Gamsu's also going to join, but these guys are just a distraction. All they're doing is allowing a little bit of space for DM to set up in the streets, and at that point, Youngjin, after coming all the way through here, is going to double back into the streets. I love this set play. You can watch it play out here. The Pharah and the Mercy start to go towards these guys at the bottom of your screen, and DM, who's on the Widowmaker, pauses for a moment, realizes that it's time, and now you see the engagement. It's these guys at the bottom here. Gamsu and Youngjin at the same time as the Pharah and the Mercy, making space for DM. Look at DM's health. He is getting pressured here. He's on half health. They do not want this Widowmaker to have this long sightline, but as soon as he's set up and manages to grapple through, it's game over. Now, in the meantime, you've got this battle happening in the streets between the Doomfist and the Batiste, which I'll run you through later, because I've got some point of views to take you through as well. But this setup was fantastic, and it allows for this kind of individual skill from DM. Here he is as he works his way into the street. This is the sightline he's been going for, and look at that! Threads the needle and finds Violet. In the meantime, Youngjin, who's been distracting, now comes back and takes a 1v1, and he's so good. The Doomfist, perfect counter to the Batiste that is always run by the San Francisco Shock. You can punch them out of the Immortality field, uppercut them through the Immortality field. This incredibly powerful ability for Rascal on the Batiste, a hero that he has redefined how to play, gets shut down completely.
The Shock, very little time to prepare for the 8th seed. Yes, the 8th seed that is currently up 2-0 at the half. But we know as these playoffs go on, it's going to be the loser of the previous map picking the next map. Let's take a look forward at the Shock's picks, because coming up, Bren, we've got some interesting choices, and that Numbani pick we were all questioning.
Yeah, I'm looking at the assault maps now, which is going to be the next pick for Shock. And I mean, you kind of have to be a fool, I think, to not go for Paris here, again, it doesn't really, you might think it plays into the Shanghai Dragons compositions a little bit, but the San Francisco Shock are clean when they're running the Batiste on this, which they've been perfecting with Rascal on that one hero. I feel like Paris is going to be the kind of pick for them, but at the same time, these teams are also prepping unorthodox strategies, and in the playoffs, they like to bring them out. They like to kind of take teams off guard. I mean, we saw Shock do it in map 1, so who knows? They might pull out anything. They might just surprise us and go on to Volskaya.
Anywhere you go other than Volskaya, though, is the pick. I mean, Volskaya is the one map that you want to avoid in this situation, because Shanghai Dragons undefeated on it, took down the Vancouver Titans, who were also undefeated on it. It's such a good map for them. They have to play this map pool.
Zoe, you said that you're going with the Shock in this one. Do they bring it back in games 3 and 4 and tie it up?
Well, I certainly hope so. Otherwise, I don't know, my prediction this playoffs, it's been a rough time. I do think they have what it takes. It all comes down to their set strats, and they clearly came in with a game plan. We saw some different looks from them. We saw a lot more Ana being played over Zen, Violet, so that is a big change coming out from them. They also pull out the Moira fairly frequently, actually, to kind of counter Ding on that Pharah. And yeah, we see Sinatra on Zombra a lot more than we were usually seeing during stage 3. So I do think they are prepared and they have what it takes.
All right, well, it sounds like the players are done talking with the coaches. Blizzard Arena, are you guys ready for some more Overwatch? That's right. It's time of big game 3 coming up next, live from Los Angeles. The Overwatch League is brought to you by Toyota, official North American partner of the Overwatch League. Toyota, let's go places.
What's up, dude? Remember when we used to carpool to LAN parties?
Dude, we've come so far. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for some Overwatch.
halfway through this set. Right now, Shanghai Dragons, they are dominating. 2-0 start for those guys, looking to make their way into that grand final that you just saw the promo for. Gonna be in Philadelphia. Super, the main tank for the Shock from the area. But this is a bit of a rough series for him, so if he wants to make it into that grand final, stabilizing now, getting that back-to-back stage, stage 2 and stage 3, final victory, that will certainly help them be a good boon for them moving forward.
You got $500,000, on the line through these playoffs as a, big major bonus for the teams that do perform well here. It's not just about the pride, it is about the money as well. But I think for both of these teams, it's about the prestige more than anything else. The Shanghai Dragons looking to be the first Chinese team to say that they are stage champions in our 7th stage finals that we've had here in Overwatch League history. The Shock trying to get that back-to-back that almost no team, has gotten before, and we'll see very few teams get in the future. You have to imagine it's hard to do, especially when you have, they were the kings of the 3-3 meta. Now, completely different meta, and they're struggling against the Shanghai Dragons, who adapted early in the season, mastered the Pharah Widow. The Shock came in with a few tricks up their sleeves. We saw different roster from them, a different starting lineup, but
Shanghai, they came in with a Youngjin, they came in with a Ding, they came in with a DM. Youngjin, especially there on Numbani, bringing out the Doomfist, just absolutely clapping.
We talked about the prevalence of Rascal on the Batiste, and you mentioned it in the broadcast, the desk talked about it, but it was evident in the game that this ends up being a great counter to what Batiste brings, but it's not just the Doomfist, it's Gamsu on the Wrecking Ball, baiting out those immortality fields early so that the team doesn't have that crutch to fall back on when the fight gets rough, when the damage is coming through from Ding in the sky while Youngjin is threatening the front line. You can't set up like you want to as a San Francisco Shock with the team comp they're running that's so positioning dependent when you're being knocked into the air, you're being blown up by rockets, and you've got a Wrecking Ball coming into the front line. DM's counting up for the 4-0 right now, and we're halfway there. Very few people would have predicted Shanghai to make the finals. A 4-0 would be incredibly further crazy in terms of expectations.
Well, we'll be moving over to Horizon Lunar Colony. Again, map choice of the San Francisco Shock. Numbani did not work out for them. Let's see how they fare now on Assault. Need to get a win on the board. If Shanghai Dragons can take this, it's reverse sweep territory for the Shock. They will have to win 4 straight consecutive maps in order to get that back-to-back stage championship.
It is the greatest map choice they could look for. I similarly disagreed with the desk on the Numbani pick. It was a big risk. If you win it, you feel great because it's a tough map to win against the Shanghai Dragons. This map is their best of the 3, and it is the best map to run their style. The Batiste goats, right? The Reinhardt Zarya Batiste variation. Pharah is viable here, but it's a lot tougher. You see much more Hanzo play in general on this map, especially if it's an Orisa setup. And the Dragons,
Reaper, the spy check.
Yeah, the Dragons are gonna spot this out. Then they're gonna look to run the Wrecking Ball here. Once again, the Pharah. It's all on Rascal again to make that impact on the Batiste. And Youngjin is looking to disrupt where he is, where they stand, and where that healing's coming through.
Already trying to draw people over onto the point. Super. Has to drop down and keep that one contested against Gamsu. Youngjin waits for his opportunity, pushes forward, dives into the back. That seismic slam, jumps his way back out. Immortality field now going to be taken care of, and Youngjin barely survives. Look for the next setup while they have that cooldown. Pushes Super away from the point. Shanghai Dragons work their way through. Again, the uppercut zoning him back. And Matrix is going to be available. Ding dropping low to the ground, trying to avoid that extra damage coming through. They'll be able to do so successfully. Dragons close to that first tick, but now going to be contested again by the Shock.
Here comes the Wrecking Ball attack. Immortality field.
Throws that one down, and Gamsu will get punished for that overextension.
And now, this is a great moment for the Shock to start to really unlock the potential of a full hold here. I'm not trying to predict the future. I'm not trying to tell you guys that's what is going to happen. But in terms of ult economy here, with Violet hitting the Transcends and bot soon to have Sound Barrier, there's a lot of staying power on this point. This is the fight Dragons really need to win if they want to have a good time bank. This is the tiny window they have right now. Needs to be now.
Well, Minefield going to go into the back. It's the pop up on a couple members of the Transcendence will be forced out from Violet. Bionade only connects onto one. Sinatra not going to be able to receive any healing here for the moment. Also coming online, 1 tick, nearly 2 gained to the side of the Shanghai Dragons as they look to push this one forward. Nanabu's going to be tossed into the back, but the shield, they get raised by Super. He stays alive. Gets that explosive damage coming through. Rez does come in, Super gonna be taken down, but now they lose out on the Youngjin as the sound barrier is dropped from Shock.
It's actually huge they're able to get the sound barrier here, despite the fight, you know, it was scrappy, but it was pretty over for the Shock. Now with the regroup, they don't have that sound barrier, and this is a great opportunity to just outlast them in this fight with the damage output they have.
Well, they're taking their way up, crucially, already had that second one, so now gonna be pushing up to 81%. Shots still coming through. No one can really push over to DM at the moment. Troy Hillman would love to try to shut down this Widowmaker, but he himself is in danger of losing out onto that mech. Graviton Surge coming through, manages to find Gomsu, but Youngjin is already disrupted the back line, got rid of 2 supports. Super, however, with a pin, manages to equalize, gets rid of Super! And snipes Sting out of the sky with a fire strike.
Huge plays from Sinatra as well. Knowing that he was out of fuel, Ding was out of fuel, and he was not going to be able to escape there. That was massive. You see the fire strike come through there from Super to finish the kill, but Sinatra was going to get it either way. That's a huge moment here that they were able to win with the grab, because all these tools be missing. The ults you see now, or the lack thereof for Shock, we're going to be there on B. Just have a shot of him sniping the Pharah out of the sky here.
Yep, gets the pins.
All after preventing the res. So
Shatter in, and a great fire strike.
But as we look at this fight here now, you know, the Shock absolutely could build the ults needed to hold B here.
Pile driver just sliding down the top there. Minefield gonna be dropped in, but Youngjin's gonna be eliminated. And Matrix comes through from Rascal. Manages to stay alive and actually takes down Ting. Suddenly we're at 35 seconds remaining. 94.5% build up for the Shanghai Dragons, but they have to get this cap.
They certainly do. And now, for the Dragons, you're coming into this fight. You're reliant on Gomsu's initiation. You've got a lot of staying power with the Youngjin ultimate here. And that's what you're gonna have to rely on. Super's caught.
Taking some pressure there onto the shield. Dragon Strike gonna be coming through. They're gonna pick somebody off. Instead, they're gonna be shifting up on top of the stairs. Super playing solo for the moment. Choi Hyobin gonna be taking it out, and Rascal gonna be assassinated in the back line. Barrage now rolling through. Moth gonna be taken down. Only one support. It's gonna be Violent. He can only heal one person at a time unless he has that ultimate, which he does not. Super cleaned up. Rocket still coming in. They will get the kills here right as we enter into overtime, get the cap, and get bumped up 4 minutes in the time bank.
Now the San Francisco Shock have great tools to prevent this from being a snowball. You know, sometimes we call it a snowball, sometimes we call it a double cap, but some fights can lead to double captures. You can go straight from A to B, and the Shock have the tools to prevent this.
Well, he's looking for the punch, doesn't quite connect there on the mob. Besides, we slam here onto the high ground as he tries to stay alive. Gets another punch in on the Choi Hyobin, but
Super
can't quite keep him alive. So does get taken down. Immortality field now going to be eliminated. Meteor Strike is in. Youngjin looking for a place to land. Doesn't get anybody with the impact, but Rascal is still going to get cleaned up. Self-destruct coming in from Choi Hyobin looking for a pick. Is unable to find one, and Ting denies the remake right at the last second.
Insane.
One tick nearly grabbed here. Now going to have it. Shanghai Dragons on the board with 3 minutes, 15 remaining. Transcendent comes in from Violet, but it's too late to try to save Malt's life. They'll get cleaned up. San Francisco Shock, they have to stay glued to this point from now on. Managed to find the kill onto Youngjin. Choi Hyobin going forward. Looking to create some space here for his squad. Barrage in the back cover, gonna be dropped in. No D-Matrix available, Sinatra's gone.
It's greedy, but it pays off here. This could be the cap they were looking for.
Another Dragon Strike available. No, Rascal! He dashes straight into the headshot from DM.
There you go.
Up the Sonic Arrow. Dragon Strike through. And that is going to be the cap. They can't beat.
They take it here. Time bank was against them. They knew that Super was a target they needed to focus down first. If they could take him down, the grab that was coming up for Sinatra wouldn't be as impactful. Great plays from the Dragons. Ding carries the fight again on the Pharah. Doesn't matter what map it is, he's going to find the value with the Rockets.
2:45 set up here for the Dragons. Let's see how the Shock fares on their attack.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
And here we go, Shanghai Dragons complete their attack on Horizon Lunar Colony. 2:45 remaining in the time bank. Shock getting ready to go on the attack. Need this to be a very strong one if they want to exceed what we saw there from the Dragons and try to get that win on the board. Pressure is on for these guys. It's see if they can come out on top.
It's rough, you know.
That it is, but of course, stage 4, as we round out things here in stage 3, will be coming up. Outlaws versus Paris Eternal will be our kickoff game, so make sure you tune into that on July 25th.
It's rough when you lose, you know, control of B like the Shock did when you had, you know, you were about to really have all your ultimates online. You were about to have all the advantages, all the tools, but the Dragons just slide under the door as it's closing. They get in there, get that pick onto Super, and then just the damage from Ding, you don't have a great tool to shut it down. You have a lot of problems with that. And for the Dragons, they're just going to keep using what's been working for them. And when you look at the Shock's attack run here, or the defensive setup,
See Ding, just how impactful he has been on that Doom Fist.
yeah, we were just looking at the stats there. Youngjin on the Fist. But for the Shock, right, on this attack run, it looks like they might run the McCree, right, blind to try to deal with the Pharah. Something that, you know, everyone's wondering, will we ever see that? But it doesn't happen. It's just going to, again, be Sombra Goats.
Yep. Pushing their way forward. Have a lot of burst healing coming through with the armor pack out from Rascal, as well as just standard healings from Violet. Bionated on the mouth, though.
The hack on the Choyobin just gives you so much room as the Pharah to just blast rockets in.
Yep, shield bash goes through onto Gamsu. He'll fall quite low, pops an adaptive shield, keep himself topped up. Sinatra with a sliver of HP, gonna have to be out of the fight, but already the Coalescence online provided as he looks to create a pick here for his squad, keep everybody else topped up. Super gonna be taking a nap. Choyobin under some fire. Jump into the back, Barrage gonna be coming through. Violet gonna be taken down, looking for a little bit more. Sinatra nearly clipped, nearly taken out. Final rocket, not quite gonna find the hit as he jumps away, but still, it will be Shanghai Dragons holding back the Shock for now.
It's a 6-man EMP that leads into the barrage kills, but this fight is not over yet. The Shock are coming in, they've got Moira, so they've got extra healing.
Find themselves a little bit of time, the minefield gonna be dropped in. Gamsu taking a lot of damage as he is hacked out. EMP comes in, that's gonna be 5-man, connected onto the Shanghai Dragons, and Koma and Luffy both gonna be taken down. Melee hits in from the Shock, the San Francisco Shock. Get rid of the supports. Youngjin is gonna be the only one that can offer up any modicum of healing. But doesn't really have any targets here. No friendly allies nearby. Will get cleaned up, and that is going to be an absolutely quick take here for the San Francisco Shock. 6 minutes plus now in that time bank.
The Moira is a great tech here for the San Francisco Shock. Bringing that in, having that extra healing. It's the staying power you need against the slow poke damage of the Pharah outside of Barrage. But now we've got the Barrage combo ready again with EMP. They should be able to hold this next push with that combo. DM.
Rally coming out, EMP gonna be used, another 5-man, this time onto the side of the Shock as they push forward. Rascal gonna be taken down. Ding, not really into a position to use the Barrage, but also not going to be necessary. The boot forward, it's both supports, and Violet will get cleaned up.
Now this is very common to see teams get wiped by EMP without using ultimates because you've got a great timing. You're 3 minutes the leader at the moment as Shock. You know that EMP is gonna give you a big issue. You walk in, try to get the last part of your own ultimates while then taking the EMP. Now they don't have the EMP. Sure, they've got the Barrage, but you have ult advantage. And this fight is favored to the Shock if they can set up a big EMP here. That's what Sinatra's looking for.
Got jump up over the top. EMP comes through. This time catching Bora. Ding is going to be one of them. Coma in the back under pressure. Going to be burned down. Violet just cleaning them up with that coalescence. Now looking for a little bit more. Gamsu just pulling everybody together, going back and forth behind the shield, trying to stay alive, but there's only so much he can do by himself. He is taken down. Defense Matrix is there. The barrage gets absolutely nothing. Youngjin desperately trying to swap over onto that Bastion as Coma tries to buy some time with the Valkyrie, but he will get grounded, and that will be the cap here on to B. San Francisco Shock, they rebound in a major way.
Absolutely the right map pick for San Francisco Shock, and with this great time bank, you could see why they were able to snowball this into a second capture early off of that EMP. They waited for the first EMP from the Dragons. They allowed that to go through. They held their ultimates and came in for the better fight, the better EMP with the ult economy advantage they had. And the execution was crisp, despite desperate swaps to Bastion, you know, despite Ding getting nano boosted and tossing out the barrage. The fight was won the moment Sinatra hit the big EMP. And this might be the first real signs of life for the San Francisco Shock. We're seeing it right now. The map pick works in their favor.
Yeah, I mean, nearly 2 minutes the advantage, just shy of that by 2 seconds. So 4:43 set up by the San Francisco Shock. Of course, do have overtime rounds coming up to still determine who will be the victors here on Horizon Lunar Colony. So still a chance for the Shanghai Dragons, but Shock, like you said, looking alive, looking good.
Yeah, this defense is going to be so critical because in assault maps where, you know, overtime goes until both teams are out of time, you know, so we could go into another overtime round after this one if both teams get 4 points here. Things can start to go very differently than the time bank would suggest if Shanghai Dragons are able to get, you know, a double cap early, then defend well. I mean, it does happen a lot, but I give the advantage to Shock, not due to their time bank, but due to the strategy they've been running and how strong it is on this map and how great they've already looked against this composition from the Dragons on A. Burning that time bank is the primary goal here.
You can hear the cheers coming out of the crowd here at the Blizzard Arena in Los Angeles. Set up, looking for that Dragons cap as they push forward here. Their first overtime attack. Always have more. Never know. Troy Yobin getting a huge chunk of damage there.
He's displaced, and that means rocket damage from Ding is huge.
Yep, just gonna keep punching him. Not getting the full charge on that right click though, so it's not doing too much damage. Now goes in, pins him against the wall, gets a little bit more, barely survives. Bionade having to be used already. One tick snagged here by the Shanghai Dragons. So TM gonna be taken down just moments before he gets that Dragon Strike online. Gamsu trying to escape here for the moment as Youngjin is way in the back, gets a pick up on the Violet, but will not be able to stay alive himself.
Sinatra's playing so well on this Zarya. You know, he doesn't get as much credit as he did in stage 1 and 2 in this meta because he's one of the only Zaryas left, but he is smashing it right now.
Yep, Sing jumping up, Barrage gonna be coming through. Sinatra trying to stay alive. Immortality Field keeps him in the mix for a little bit longer, but that final rocket exiting the barrage doesn't manage to take him down. Now jump in the back, looking for Moth, looking for Super. Anyone that Ding can get his hands on. Punch comes through and Super just falls.
The stagger kills here.
Transcendence was late from Violent. He was unable to keep him alive. Now jumping forward, seismic slam in. Looks for Moth. Sliver of HP remaining onto him. Violent going to be bionated, taken down. Moments before Luffy does get eliminated. Still a chance here for the Shock to try to stabilize, but as Youngjin, as soon as he keeps getting these rocket punches through, those hopes, those chances, they dwindle away.
Now they lost the Transcendence. Violet used it, but he's going to swap over the Moira. This has worked well for them in the past. They have the sound barrier for staying power on the point. This is going to be all about the grab from Sinatra. Can he build that energy? And here comes Youngjin.
Grab is out from Sinatra. Youngjin jumping into the back, unable to find an execution so far. That's going to be bionated. The sound barrier in from Moth, shielding up everybody on his squad.
All the ults are used.
Losing out on Luffy. Likely going to try to take this one a little bit more patiently. Almost stuck in an awkward situation. They're still playing forward, but now Gamsu going to be taken down. Youngjin in the back, managed to find another kill as they dip down below 60 seconds remaining. Like we're just gonna have to try to reset this one. Youngjin is gonna go ahead and get killed off.
They need to reset here. Ding needs to try to escape. He's got Koma's help here. I think he will get out. Any stagger kills are atrocious for the Dragons with 45 seconds remaining, but they used everything. They used the sound barrier in that fight. They used the Graviton Surge. Super swapped over to the Winston. Sinatra's going back to the Zarya here. Rascal will go back to the Batiste. He already used his Amplification Matrix previously, but they need that extra damage to shut down Ding when he comes through. It's all on Choyobin. He has to make sure this barrage does not get massive value. That means he can't be picked early. Look at how low he's getting.
Going through onto him, and finally going to be taken down. The Coalescence was just moments away from coming up. Dragon Strike now going to be tossed in, flicks it over to the side. Everybody going to be dispersing, and now Super left alone will be taken down. Rascal as well going to be eliminated. The barrage online for Ding, waiting for his moment. Once again, Choyobin out of that mech, and they will be able to do so. Get the force here onto the self-destruct, and the bomb comes in. Choyobin manages to find two, but he gets rid of the baby defense, so there's no chance of a remake. Now Sinatra and Muff gonna be gone.
Primal's almost ready.
Violet over to the side, trying to stay alive, trying to burn down Youngjin, and he will be able to do so. But can he do more? Primal Rage comes out, looking with a sliver of HP, drops the Bionade, tries to survive. It's 77% built up here for the side of the Shanghai Dragons, looking for a bit more, but I don't know if they're gonna be able to do it. Kamsu gonna be taken down. Res comes out, but it's off the point, and they will be able to hold him off.
Massive hold here for the San Francisco Shock. The swaps were absolutely necessary. Super on the Winston, getting that Primal Rage up. It took him a long time, but that Primal is what helped them live through that last moment in the fight. Violet picking off Luffy despite a very difficult duel that Luffy was almost able to win. Violet comes up strong in the end. They have that extra staying power. They survived through healing and tanking all the damage. And Choyobin, heroics on the Diva, really. I mean, he's under pressure from everyone. He's being shot at by a bar. He's getting launched in the air by a Doomfist. And then he comes up with this bomb here at the end, which really stops as he nudges it.
Yep.
This stops the momentum. This is the moment where you lost your most important duel here, Coma and Ding, and the damage starts to plummet at that moment. They get the respawns coming through. And this is what you've got to do as a Diva. And Choyobin's in the running for, you know, best Diva in the world. There's a lot of them right now because the role has been so important this year, arguably more important than last year in a lot of cases. But you need a strong Diva player versus these Pharah teams. That's why we saw New York play Mecco in the beginning of this playoffs, right? In the round of 8 quarters. You need a strong Diva player. Choyobin's coming up bigger than Mecco has. And this is winnable for the Shock now. They just need to capture B, and they've got almost 5 minutes to do it.
Yep, 77.6% is what they have to beat. You saw how quickly they were able to take A last time out. See if they can do it similarly here. Start pushing their way forward. Sinatra looking for an opportunity, decides not to go for the hack, instead it's going to be pushing around out back. Throws down that translocator, so he's got a place to teleport to. Violet does get picked off. So we'll just be a pushback over into the spawn room here for the Shock. Oh, okay.
Okay. That's,
if only Perdita had a shield that could block things.
Well, that's a nice little stagger. It's going to buy them about 20 more seconds of time. Translocator location there for Sinatra is one that cannot be destroyed or hounded down by enemy Sombra, because DM has no reason to go out there, so that's why he put it in space. Gives him an extra bit of escapability. Oh, look at this angle.
Yeah, a lot of damage being pushed through. Rascal again. Gonna get clipped. The defense matrix unable to help keep him alive, and Choyobin's gonna be knocked out of the mech now.
When you're up against the Pharah and the Sombra, that's when you really have problems without a Reinhardt, because Reinhardt is going to have a shield, a barrier he can place in these hallways, whereas Winston's bubble, as you can see here, is only temporary. And once it fades away, you're just at the mercy of your Diva. And if your Diva is hacked or has already used its defense matrix against all the incoming damage, then you're just going to get caught in a stairwell like that and take massive damage. Now the Barrage EMP combo is ready, and Shock have to change it up. They're going back to Reinhardt Zarya, but it's cost them a lot of time and a lot of ult charge.
Yep, still 3 minutes going to be remaining. Looking for that boot back. Concussive Blast, unable to find it. Barrage is just going to be layered in. Tries to find the kill, and actually Violet going to be taken down. Gets a follow-up again on the Rascal. Ding! Comes up with a triple. Now looks for Choyobin to knock him out of that mech. And they will be able to do so, and they can just leave him.
Yeah, Youngjin comes up there from the flank as well to help set that up. Pressure Super out so the Barrage can come through properly. And they're just going to stagger Super, the Reinhardt stagger.
Yeah, something you don't see too often.
But, I mean, they got to save the EMP here. The Barrage comes up big, and Thing's a third of the way to another one. The Reinhardt swap is absolutely necessary. I don't think you could ever make this work with a Winston. I mean, not against a team of this caliber, maybe against some of the weaker teams, but not against the Shanghai Dragons. And still it wasn't enough, and now he's going to swap back to the Winston. Desperation here. San Francisco Shock, the leaders in time bank. They defended B, And now you could feel the pressure. The uncertainty seeping in.
Yep, leap onto the high ground there, gets a Zarya bubble. Does super, just trying to stay alive. DM, at the same time, waiting for his opportunity. Uses that EMP, but actually it's only going to be a solo on the Sinatra. The wall blocked out the supports. Now the Coalescence coming through from Violet. Everybody topped up. So a big whiff there from the side of DM. Not going to be nearly as impactful, and now that's the go button for the San Francisco Shock to make their way over onto the point. Ding, however, he's in the back. He's got an Nano Boost. He's got a kill on the Rascal.
Supercharger too.
So he's got a barrage, but he doesn't need it. Sinatra just gets dunked, takes that rocket right on the top of his head.
There is a win condition now for the Shanghai Dragons here. Holding A, which seemed impossible, now starts to feel likely. DM with the EMP, if they can stagger these ultimates again, which they've done so many times here on Horizon, it's insane. If he could do that.
He's already got another one.
Exactly, if they could stagger these, use them separately, how does Shock win this?
Yep, he's built it up. A minute and 20 seconds is what they need to do.
They can use them together. I think that's what Shock is hoping for. They've got the sound barrier. That's one way to shut this down, but it's going to have to be Choi too.
Another jump here onto the high ground. Super goes forward, but gets stunned up. The EMP comes in, and ding, he rains down hell from above. It's the kill onto Moth, nearly the team wipe coming in.
This is best case scenario for the Shock though, because now both ultimates are gone. I know it doesn't seem like best case scenario because the team just got wiped, but now they've got this fight. They can use both support ultimates in the longer fight, and they'll have a grab. As long as nobody gets picked in the front line here, as long as nobody dies, crazy flanker for Ding, as long as nobody dies, then they should be able to take A with this. If they can't take it here, they're not getting it at all.
They still have to get that 77%
Sleep.
on the other side.
Sleep
Sleep goes through. Super gonna be taking a nap through the rest of that ult. Now they get the Bionade in onto him, trying to get rid of that Winston. Shanghai Dragons unable to find it so far. Kamsu gonna be under a lot of pressure. The grab comes in. Youngshin's gonna be eliminated. Now 2 more kills going over as Rascal swings away. They will get the kills. They will be able to get this cap here onto A. But can they finish? Can they exceed that 77.6%?
They've got to rush in 10 seconds until it gets boosted up here. 39 is the time they've got. DM and Ding have to last for 20 more percent and 30 more percent in order to make this defensive combo happen. They certainly can do it.
They're gonna have a supercharger, they're gonna have a nano boost. Rally on the way. Valkyrie, the furthest thing here for the Shanghai Dragons as they look to move up 3-0. San Francisco Shock, they have to make this work.
EMP's ready. The Shock have no second chances here. It's now or never.
Looking for the hack there on a Violet, manages to fade away. Rascal, set up for the bomb. The EMP comes out, it's gonna be a solo on the super, but that might just be enough. Who's getting close to that primal range. Now Rascal under some pressure as they push their way forward. They isolate him. They take him down. Sinatra trying to escape. A Hail Mary bomb out from Trey Hoban looking for a pick, but this time he doesn't find anything. The kills come in. The OT will start dwindling away. They get the hack. The barrage greets super. He falls. OT goes down. Violet just gonna get cleaned up. But that is the Shanghai Dragons moving up 3-0.
And this is looking to potentially be a very one-sided finals. Our 8th seed, the Shanghai Dragons, have never been on a stage like this in the Overwatch League. It's their very first time for the org, and they might close it out 4-0. It'll be the first this year. What an incredible story.
You saw it there on the sign, Ding Dong, Dragon strong. They're looking at it. Shock now have to reverse sweep if they want to get the back-to-back championship.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile. And by State Farm. Whatever life brings your way, State Farm is here to help life go right.
Welcome back, Mika Burton here, and the Shanghai Dragons are currently up 3-0. I got to talk to the San Francisco Shock during halftime, and I asked them about their unexpected decision to field Striker, Architect, and Smurf to kick things off in Map 1. The coaching staff told me that they felt like they've struggled against damage dealer compositions and that they fielded the new roster in an attempt to catch the Dragons off guard. Unfortunately, the bold strategy did not work out for the Shock, and it looks like the Shock's confidence in their own game is slowly waning. However, their coaching staff did tell me that they have, quote, trust in the players when it comes to flexing onto heroes in game that may help them get this reverse sweep and bring it back. So we'll just have to see if their adaptations will work out on the 4th map coming up next. But for now, back to Wolf and Ilios.
Thank you very much, Mika. I mean, pressure certainly on here for the San Francisco Shock. He said before the break, have to get a reverse sweep 4 maps straight if they want to be able to get back-to-back stage championships.
And Ilios, this 4-0, a lot of people, if it happens, a lot of people might remember it as one of Overwatch's greatest upsets, but there were signs. We saw the Shanghai Dragons as we head into Havana for the 4th map. There were signs. The Dragons dominated Volskaya with Pharah Widow. That's where they really got their start in this meta in Stage 3. Started expanding it to different maps. You know, they had to swap a lot, but now they're running this Pharah on almost every map. They've mastered the Sombra. Different players as well, you know. Ding was the Sombra at the beginning of the season. Now he's the Pharah. They crushed in regular season the matches they won, where they looked, you know, ready, when they looked practiced. There was some shakiness at the end, but when we got to the playoffs, they smashed New York. They take out Vancouver Titans, dominant fashion. And now that we're finally here, is it really that big of a surprise, given the track record in the road here for the Dragons, that they would win a meta mismatch for the San Francisco Shock in dominant fashion? You know, it's not that shocking when you look back, right? But for the Dragons here, Youngjin Reaper.
Yeah, this is, you know, showing us something a little bit different.
Something we've seen from him in the past. He's got a massive hero pool, and he likes to bust tanks when he's on this Reaper.
Well, we saw Sinatra playing it a bit yesterday alongside the May. Gamsu, though, however, already going to be taken down. He's kind of left out to dry. So will be eliminated, and that is going to open up the cart massively for the side of the San Francisco Shock. See Choi Ho-Ben looking for an opportunity to land a hook, pull that pharmacy comp out of the sky. He's unable to do so far, but Coma, there's a little bit of damage there.
Youngjin's still hidden. They don't know where he is. He's now showing himself. And look at the flank angle here for DM.
Yep, just waiting for his opportunity. We saw Moth there, can't quite hit Sinatra either. Super gonna be taken down. Ding alleviates a little bit of that pressure on the card. Now push forward, Youngjin looking for the kill here. Doesn't have an escape and will get taken down, takes Violet down with him, and Ding just continues to put up the numbers. Ho-Ben going low, will be eliminated. The res comes in onto the Reaper.
Reapers are a pretty misunderstood hero in this meta. I feel like a lot of people look towards damage output, they look towards the Death Blossom, but it's all about the pressure.
Okay, Rascal knows now. Yep. Was lacking a bit of critical information there for a second. Didn't know that Ding was hovering above.
Shock could get sandwiched here, and DM's got the info.
Well, Pocket coming in, but it's not enough. Violet gets a 2-tap on top of the rocket. Ding will be eliminated. Not really much of a chance of a res there, and DM gets hooked through. Ho-Ben getting rid of that enemy sniper, and Youngjin slept. Finished off.
And now the Shock can finally breathe after what was tons of pressure coming in from the flanking Reaper, the Widowmaker control, and the Pharah and the threat of Barrage. Violet gets the opening kill that allows them to finally push forward. And now they're no longer at an ult deficit. They've got their own EMP. And it'd be folly for the Dragons to keep Youngjin on the Reaper here on an approach. He swaps over to the Roadhog, but all ult advantage and position advantage go to the Shock now, who are poised to take A with this next fight.
Supercharger going to be tossed down by Gamsu. EMP comes out, manages to catch 5. For the kills now, Rascal throws in the barrage, manages to get rid of Gamsu. Youngjin trying to equalize, picks up 1. Rez goes back through onto Ding. They are without a Roadhog, they are without a tank. Not much staying power here for the side of the Shanghai Dragons on this defense. Coma playing forward, just trying to keep it going. But he just does not stand a chance. The whole hog comes out, Luffy gets taken down. Now DM's gonna be joining him.
This is a good time bank for the Shock, especially when you consider the Reaper shenanigans that bought some time there for the Shanghai Dragons, but they do have to swap in the end. And it is San Francisco Shock who are now just trying to catch up in ult economy after using ults on that last fight. It was a fight that the Dragons knew they're very unlikely to win. Now that they have the inside track here on the approach angle for the San Francisco Shock, this barrage could be massive because they know there's no Diva, there's no defense matrix. So a little bit more power here to Ding to choose how he wants to use this. He's not limited by Choi Ho-bin's positioning this time.
Looking to out-pressure Rascal here. Knows that if he uses that barrage, well, okay, Youngjin's got it. Because he knows that if he uses that barrage, he's going to be frozen in place. He can easily get taken down by that enemy Pharah. And Obu's going to be tossed forward here from Violent, but Super gets taken down. Now Moth eliminated as well. Choi Ho-bin waking up here from his nap. Does not stand a chance. They finish him off, and now the cart is halted.
You know, Shanghai fans are probably holding their breaths when Ding went super low like that. Como was healing the rest of the team. Ding hides, he comes back and heals Ding in the end. They have such a great understanding of who to prioritize in terms of healing. And, you know, it's moments like these that you really see how good the coordination is for the Dragons right now in this meta. Okay, EMP's ready.
Cops are going low. They'll get top back up. EMP connects on to all 6 members of the Shanghai Dragons, but they have to get the kills through. And so far, they're not finding any. Rascal finally will be able to pick one up here on the Ding, but Super going to be taken down to exchange on those Oasis. This Gomsu will be eliminated, but Rez back into the fight by Coma. Bionade connecting there onto Choi Ho-bin for a moment as Youngjin tries to stay alive, but an answering Bionade goes forward onto him.
Potentially.
Doing their best. Choi Ho-bin going to be rezzed in. Barrage comes through. Rascal going to be slept. Bionade and taken down. But the cart still continues to inch forward as Youngjin is caught in the back.
Violet hit 2 major sleep darts in that fight. That one there on the Youngjin was actually pretty massive. This is crazy. Yeah, that wasn't going to work.
That was a very questionable one. Barrage dropped in as he was already at half HP. Makes for a very easy click from Choi Ho-bin. Now gets a very nice hook.
All right, Shanghai Dragons getting a little bit overzealous here. They're great at this meta. They're great at the Pharah. They're not good enough to win several 3 or 4v6 fights. And this is going to be Shock taking B. There's no way to contest. Dia makes the swap over to the Sombra, and it's going to be a free cap here, as the Dragons know contesting here would be absolutely, you know, there's just no chance they're going to make that work. It'd be ridiculous to attempt.
Yeah, now it's about waiting for that cart to advance a little bit, trying to get control, and then spawn camping here for the side of the Dragons. EMP is ready, toss into the back, this time 5. As they just try to hide in the corner. Gomsu going to be getting extendedly hacked. The Sinatra sets up that play and the hook comes through. They finish him off.
And this is a, you know, a setup for the Shock now where they can control this bridge and the choke around it. Luffy gets caught as he tries to poke out. Rascal, you know, plays, he just kills his former teammate.
Yeah.
You know, and this is working extremely well for him right now.
And every time they poke their heads out, a rocket, a shot from Violent comes in. Lays down the damage, gets those kills on the boards. The cart completely unhindered in the move at the moment, pushing forward to that final archway.
Just coming around here with Sinatra.
Whole hog, Nano tossed in by the Shock, looking for a kill. Gonna be chucking a couple of people out, but this time Ding manages to get the upper hand on a Rascal, but DM under so much pressure will be finished off. Final rocket there gets rid of Super. Barrage is online, but Ding wants to save that. Knows that they still have to hold out for about 2 more minutes.
It's mentioned a lot, Havana is a map where you rarely see finished, and this is finally the Dragons taking back control.
Okay, Sinatra uses the EMP, that's gonna catch 5 members. Barrage is still available, now Moth's gonna be gone. Managed to clean up Gomsu, but that's gonna be a 2-for-1 here on the back end of the fight.
It's also very difficult to build EMP here on C because it's a little bit more, you know, once you get through that gateway, it's a little bit more choky, you know? You can't really find a way to just hack the back line, find your way in for free. Now they're tracking where he is, and it's just very difficult, if you're Sinatra in this case, to build that EMP in 70 seconds right now to set up for a big fight.
Yeah, I'm looking for the shot, misses on the Violet. Be an absolutely crucial pick if he could find it. Whole hog from Youngjin though, will just take down Rascal, now pushes up, looks for Super. And they will be able to find that pick. Youngjin gonna be pulled in, wraps around, he does the 180 hook on the Moth!
It's always good. It's always good when you get those hooks in second. It's not on to Choi Ho-bin though, this time it's on to Moth. And look at Sinatra's ult charge. He got 10% in that last fight. Now they're down to 50 seconds where they were 70. And that may just be the ultimate they never get, and they're never able to finish this map because he used it in the previous fight. did not get value. Now Ding's positional advantage is massive. He could go for the supports here.
Yeah, he's pressuring both of them there into the back again. No Diva, no way to really mitigate the damage coming through. The best he could do is just try to kill him off. DM going to be picked by Sinatra. Violet pushed over to the side.
The sleep is good.
He will land on the map. Was a chance that he might have gotten taken down, but while that is happening, Coma gets a res off, kills Sinatra, and now Rascal is going to be gone. Moth hiding behind the cart does manage to bring that Tracer back into the fight. Push up over the top. Troy Yeoman hooked in, takes a breather, barely manages to survive. Looks for a hook of his own, unable to find it. Just taps off the top of that barrier from Gamsu.
Ding's back, he's still got the barrage.
Another hook, but this time going to be canceled. But the barrage comes in. 2 lined up, make it 3 as Super gets taken down. Now Rascal going to be gone. It's just Sinatra and Moth versus the world. He's got an EMP, but they need a lot more. EMP comes in. It's going to be a solo onto Youngjin. Not what he was looking for. Moth taken down here at the end. Sinatra just tries to delay alongside Rascal, waiting for him to get back over there, but it just cannot happen.
And it was the EMP they didn't hold, that they were never able to build. Sinatra uses that in that fight. They're never able to get the fight they want. They are crushed by Ding on the Pharah once again, and now there's a win condition for the Shanghai Dragons to take their first finals.
In a 4-0 fashion, just have to push to the end of Havana. Let's see if they can pull it off when we come back for their attack.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.
And here we are. San Francisco Shock could not quite finish Havana. They got dangerously close, but the Shanghai Dragons were able to hold them off. And like you said, now a win condition on the board. They can close this out right here, right now with a 4-0 if they can just push to the end.
Shanghai Dragons have been in places like this before, you know, and you know, for the old Kongdu squad, they got reversed by Runaway in the Season 2 finals in 2018 in Contenders. We'll take a look at this Kilo for Coma. But you know, this is a squad that has faced these massive advantages and then thrown them away in finals. They were the leaders versus Lunatic High in the Apex Season 2 finals. At that time, Luffy and Rascal were teammates. Now they find themselves enemies in this finals. And the Shanghai Dragons org has never been this far, but these players have been in situations like this before. The core of this roster has let this slip. They didn't do it yesterday against the Titans, and they're looking to close this out now. It is as close as some of these players have ever been.
Yeah, absolutely. Gamsu as well, storied player in Overwatch as well as other esports, but closest that he has been getting that championship. Dink pushing around the back. San Francisco Shock not toying around with anything, just staying with their standard picks here. As Rascal's back over onto that Batiste. Youngjin looks for the punch. He's unable to find it, so still just trying to maintain control of this room. Operate around the shop here.
Yep, this is obviously a great position for the Shock. They can play around the Batiste so well. It's hard for Youngjin to go in there because he might get, you know, just obliterated the second he commits.
Yeah. He can get in there. If he can find a pick, it's like bull in a china shop. So
the problem is, though, the card is rolling. They're going to have to come out of this position. That's where Ding is looking for the shield to be turned.
Yeah, they're trying to contest just here on the edge using Super Shield, but that'll only last so long. Immortality Field going to be coming in. Youngjin manages to pick off Violet. Now the Immortality Field's going to be taken down. Suddenly everybody is vulnerable. Youngjin going low. Has that Meteor Strike, gets rid of Super Choyobin, going to be knocked out of the mech. That's exactly what they needed. And all the while, Shanghai Dragons, they do this without using anything. They're about to have 6 ultimates online.
Sinatra dies here, but he gets his Graviton Surge as he does. And there is an opportunity here for the Shock to use the support ultimates they will have in the longer fight. Violet will get his trance, and the Graviton Surge they can use then, once he gets full energy, to contest B. This is not by any means a one-sided setup here for the Dragons, but they will have the 6 ultimates. The EMP itself can stop everything the Shock want to do, so Mott's going to have to be far back, and that makes this really difficult. And Youngjin is looking for the supports himself.
Yep.
They don't know. They don't know.
He's going for the flank, looks for the punch, everybody peeling away. Immortality Field's going to be used here.
It's early.
He's waiting for that Meteor Strike. Looks for the drop down. Mortality Field's still up, and Luffy going to be taken down, but now Super going to be eliminated. A little bit too late there on the Transcendence from Violent to try to keep that main tank alive. A bit of Bionade involved as well. Either way, that's going to be the Barrage dropped in, looking to clean up Sinatra. With the help of DM, they managed to find him, but Rascal will take that far out of the sky.
The Immortality Field looked like it might have been early there, coming out for the Shock, but it's actually what helped them set up to get that last few percentage points of Violet's Transcendence. He's halfway to another one here, but they shut down the big ultimates on the side of the Dragons. Meteor Strike doesn't come up big, even though the Immortality Field is destroyed first. And in a choke like that, it's the Batiste that ends up being the key hero, and this is the style of the Shock. This is the best map for Batiste in the pool, and it's once again, you know, their map pick here. And it's coming up better than what we've seen so far. He's got the Amp Matrix. That's going to make it a lot easier for them to shut down this next push. The EMP here, no support ultimates to counter it. That's the Shanghai Dragons' MO here on the approach.
Do have to be worried for the Shock, though. Sinatra swapping over onto that Tracer. Does not have that Zarya now. Needs to try to get some backline picks. EMP coming through, only finds Rascal and Super. Now they need the kills to follow up, but DM gets cut down. Violet shutting him out. Now getting ready to have that next Transcendence online.
I think he panicked a little bit with that. His first Translocator was destroyed.
Yep.
He waited for the second one, and the second one there just, sure, it lands, and he felt like that's my moment. They keep destroying my Translocators. I better make this one count. But the Shock had already moved out of position. The most important hero to hit was the Batiste, was Rascal, but the follow-up damage wasn't there. There were no follow-up ultimates, and they couldn't capitalize. This is a great opportunity for Shock to take their first map right now. Only the Barrage coming online soon.
Oh man, Gamsu. Anywhere that he goes, under pressure. A sliver of HP remaining as he tries to stay alive. It's a little bit back now, rejoins in with the rest of his squad. 10 seconds on the clock for the Shanghai Dragons. Remember, they can close out this series, become the Stage 3 champions if they can push to the end, but they first have to make it over to A. Shatter comes in, solo onto Gamsu. Immortality Field's gonna be used. Gamsu gonna get cleaned up. Bionade connects on the 3, but now Ding is gonna be gone. No Barrage in the fight, and I'm not sure if Koma is gonna be able to get a res. He puts Gamsu back in, the pulse bump from Sinatra, cleans up Youngjin. Gamsu goes swinging away. They get rid of Luffy. DM over onto the side, trying to stay alive. But there's so little that he can do. Needs to buy enough time. EMP comes in, catches out 2. Violet will get taken down, but Ding, he can't join in. He can't tag in. And San Francisco Shock, they get a full hold, and now they're on the board.
Super with a big play. The solo shatter onto Gamsu. They predict the engagement tool. It's going to be the Wrecking Ball. Super turns around and slams him to the ground. It's a 6v5 fight. They have ult advantage, and they are now on the scoreboard.
They are, but their back still against the wall, need to win 3 more consecutive maps to become the back-to-back champions. We'll see if they can pull it off when we come back for the next map.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
And welcome back, San Francisco Shock. Not going down without a fight, but it's at the 11th hour. They need to win 3 straight maps to try and take this series.
It is going to be a very uphill battle. This roster on the Dragons has slipped away in finals before, but this is a meta they are dominating in, and the mismatch for the Shock is real. They were able to win Havana with Batiste by Rascal as we head into Ilios.
Remember, this is now the Dragons map pick.
Yes, it's the first of what could be 3 map picks for them if the reverse sweep is going to begin, but you know, it's no surprise we're going to Ilios for the Dragons here. They don't want to give the opportunity to go to Nepal with the choke points that the Shock are going to do great with their style in. They want an open map where Pharah Widow rules supreme. And we may even have to see, once again, Rascal on the Pharah here to match.
Yeah, he's hovering it now.
Obviously, Orisa runes supreme here on Well, because you can pull people into to their deaths in the center there, but also mitigating range damage on the ground and able to contest on the edge with very little fear of being poked. And her shield is more permanent than Reinhardt's as long as she's staying in one place. She can just continue to replace it.
Well, here we go. Right now looking like Sinatraa will be using the Tracer. And fully anticipate that, you know, for the side of the Shock, that DM is going to be on that Widowmaker.
So it's not a Widow duel for Sinatraa versus DM, but it is still Sinatraa versus DM in terms of the pressure. If Sinatraa can get back there and threaten the Widow, it makes Rascal's life a lot easier. They're playing to their strengths. It's not standard.
Yeah, direct hit coming through there onto Rascal. Asmoth constantly keeping him topped up. Answers back with one, but DM, he's got the crossfire. Distract him, push up over the top, and Super will receive a headshot from DM. Those numbers on the board, and nearly Sinatraa getting picked off there as well.
It's not
Rascal
a winnable
swapping to the Widow.
Yeah, it's not a winnable fight for Rascal on the Pharah when Sinatraa isn't putting any pressure on DM. You just can't win that fight. It's not fair. It's not a Pharah v Pharah. It's a Pharah Widow v Pharah. Sinatraa just wasn't able to get enough done. Rascal swaps over to now the Sombra for some considerations on the Widow.
Ooh, Violent showing his head there for a moment. DM not gonna find that hit. Gamsu under a bit of pressure as he gets hacked out. Now stun pulled in. Super does manage to pick up that kill. Good opening for the Shock as they try to recontest and get this flip coming through. Youngjin is going to be playing up here onto the point, but now there's a pulse online. Lumpy is going to get pressured down. Sinatraa holding on to this as long as he can. Nano boost used. Misses, doesn't get the stick. Youngjin still staying alive. He's got the pocket coming in from Coma to try to keep him topped up. Now Super going to get knocked into the pit by Ding. DM will get taken down by Sinatraa, but they need so much more than that. They do not get the flip.
They do not get the flip. They need more.
Pull in onto Violent. He's cut off. More stats with that trance. Rascal nearly eliminated. Sinatraa goes around the side, manages to get rid of Gamsu. Can they actually engineer a flip here? Breather has been taken. Pulse bomb goes to the barrier, but they get the pull down into the pit. Youngjin does get eliminated, but Sinatraa gonna be taken down here. Troy Hillman going through as well. Yim gets that hack off just into the last second there as well to be cheeky.
The even fight favors the Dragons. It's still ticking up. If they don't get the flip, it doesn't matter. I don't know if they're gonna get it.
Violent has been eliminated. DM getting that health pack, tries to stay alive. Rascal has got the EMP, but now they're gonna have to use it. They only got a whole hog and a supercharger coming through. Violent just now swapping over onto that Ana.
Sinatraa wants to deal with Ding right now. He dealt with DM on the Widow, forced him to swap to Sombra. But he's going to try to keep Ding honest here on the Pharah.
Lure into the side, and Rascal gets taken down with the EMP ready to go. Moth, can he get a res? I don't know if it's going to be enough. No way. Coming through just to push everybody back. Super gets annihilated, and it's 100-0 on the first round of Ilios.
This is the power of taking a lead in a first to fourth series like this, which gives you your map picks when the reverse sweep is attempted, when the team starts to take back control. You know, Shock wins Havana, but now you're gonna have to play on Shanghai's map. Every single map pick will be theirs, and that's if you can bring it to that 7th and final map. That's a big if right now, and the Dragons get to play the map that they excel on. The Shock tried to mess with the Pharah. They put Rascal in there. He's crushed, he has to swap. Sinatraa on the Tracer, sure, he forced the DM swap, but he's not able to win it in the end. Lighthouse is the best of the 3 rounds that will suit Shock style. They can use the terrain around the point itself to avoid Widow Fire and the Pharah Fire. And that's why they're running this Reinhardt, Zarya, Hog.
But they have to win the first fight.
They do.
The Dragons, if they get entrenched with Gamsu with that barrier set up on the point, retaking it is going to be quite the challenge.
You're absolutely right. It's a race here. The Shock are going to use the speed boost to try to get in there.
We saw Titans get taken down on this map at the start of the series yesterday. That's what netted Shanghai Dragons getting their way into this grand final. Already some hooks coming through. Gamsu going to go a little bit low, but the Bionade connects on the Rascal. As they try to keep him alive, but it's just not going to be enough. DM is there. Cap comes in from the Shock, but can they hold it?
Gamsu doing
right
so
now,
much.
not getting an angle.
Disruption is real.
Yeah. Hack forward there on Sinatra as he tries to stay alive. Rockets coming through, weakening him, but now Youngjin going to be eliminated, so things still looking decent for the San Francisco Shock.
They have the flip too. It's their point now.
Obviously rolling his way in. Hack onto Super. Can't raise that shield. It's going lower and lower. Coalescence going to be used by Violet.
Dragons
for
gotta
a
leave.
pick.
They gotta leave, and they do get the first cap. You said it in the beginning, this is the most important thing, because now they can operate around this hog and this barrier that Super's set up. Gamsu's looking to change it.
Swing through coming in. Mine's going to be dropped down, but they'll get stuck out
Oh,
in the
no.
chimney. Uh-oh. Just going to be two lonely mines down below. Not getting much. Gamsu, he pulls the trigger a bit too early. As you take a look at him here, Barrage coming in. Dink's not going to get anything. They didn't use the EMP.
A fight-losing mistake for Gamsu, and it's something that he knows. He just mistimed. We see that's a very common approach path for Wrecking Balls, is to use that hole in the ceiling there, the gap, the window, and then drop down, but he used them too early. They collided with the walls and got stuck there. That meant full control of the point. They wanted to take it with the mines. Shock got to keep it, and now they have massive ult advantage. They've got this Graviton Surge.
A tragic use of the mines, but ult still coming back on. Gamsu building up pretty rapidly. Now the EMP is going to be going in. Moth, take it down! Can't use the sound barrier! Dink drops his way through, gets himself a double kill. That will be the flip here, going the way of the Shanghai Dragons to get themselves on the board for the second round.
A clean solo ult fight there with the EMP. The ult advantage we talked about for the Shock, the hold 6 now is only as powerful as how you can use it. And when you're the defenders of that point, the Lighthouse itself, you're going to have a massive advantage. It's almost unlosable, but they lose Moth first and don't get to use those ultimates. Using them on the attack is going to be way harder to find value with. Not impossible, but harder.
Still do have time on their side. 82% set up for them. Shanghai Dragons just now getting to 20. Bionade goes through onto 2. Sinatra uses the Graviton Surge. The kills, they're going the way of the San Francisco Shock, coming up with 2 there. Red's back over on a Gamsu, however. But now Luffy going to be eliminated by Moth. Fairly efficient here from the Shock. Use 4. Not going to be having any support ultimates, but they will be able to clean this up, and we are at 98%. OT will be forced out, but there's no one nearby. They have to try to make their way through. TM, though, he gets close. It's not quite close enough. San Francisco Shock, they tie us up 1-1 on Ilios. Ruins will decide it all.
Since Overwatch's release, Ruins has been one of the best Widowmaker maps in Overwatch history because of its architecture. It's wide open. There's a lot of places for Widowmakers to hide, take high ground control, look for line of sight and control of the point from above. So this is a map you'd expect that DM will play the Widow on, but it's all going to depend on the composition the San Francisco Shock want to use here. If they want to use something like what they're highlighting right now, the Widow can be very powerful. It's difficult to hide behind Super Shield on the Winston or even on the Reinhardt when the Widow is above it, and you can physically not avoid those shots. We will see DM's Widow to start, and this is no shocker given the max architecture. Look at how many ways there are for Widow to get high ground and get line of sight control.
He's hovering near the back, though. Gets the call for what the Shock are running and will swap over onto that Sombra. With the Winston's, a lot of added pressure onto the Widowmakers and trying to put that one out safely. Back forward on the Luffy. Super gonna be jumping forward. Knows there's no sleep guard that can come through. They nearly take him down. They can't quite do it yet. Now Super's gonna be greeted with a biotic grenade as he tries to escape, but he just cannot do it. Ding, however, taken out of the skies. Troy Helmet manages to even things up a little bit, but Koma is gonna look to offset that balance as he brings him back.
Ding's got a great angle here now, no pressure.
Very little. Troy Helmet doing what he can, but Hack is gonna be Hack. Can't use that defense matrix, and it's not gonna be enough healing output, even from Violet on that Moira that can't keep him topped up.
This should be their cap.
They're looking for it, trying to get it here. Shock fighting tooth and nail to elongate this. Super going low time and time again, nearly taken out of the sky, and Luffy will find that snipe. EMP comes in, however, from Sinatra, manages to catch all 6. Super still waiting to res. Coma gonna be eliminated. See here with that coalescence, DM going to be eliminated. Barrage is out from Ding. He gets the nano boost, trying to stay alive, trying to find another pick.
So greedy to use that barrage here. They better turn this fight. That's a huge tool gone. Bash comes in. They're coming in with DM in just a second. He's got that EMP. They've got to hold on.
Yeah, now Gobsu's going to be hacked. The cab comes in from Shock, finally able to lock that one down. And now we'll get the cleanup kills. Shanghai Dragons, they're the aggressors. They have to try to retake this.
As soon as the hack came through from Sinatra and the EMP was on to DM and they couldn't counter EMP, that should have been the sign for the Dragons to step back, give control of the point, and try to feed over ult charge. Sinatra's about to lap DM in terms of that EMP build. He's at 90% of 100. DM hasn't got to use his yet. There's no barrage to pair with this, and Moth has the sound barrier. This is essentially an unlosable fight for the Shock.
You can see here in the support camp, Moth hiding. Doesn't want to get caught by the EMP, and he will not. Pushes back around the side, gets 5 members on his team, shielding them up. Answering EMP comes through. That's going to be 4 members hacked on the side of the Shanghai Dragons. Hacks are expiring. Now Luffy going to be taken down. Super Pop in the Primal Rage. Looks for some kills, looks to deny the res, and he does so. Koma going to be knocked out of the fight. In all likelihood eliminated as he tries to retreat back over to the dropship.
And this is still ult advantage to the Shock. Sure, Super used his Primal Rage, but Sinatra remains ahead in terms of EMP charge. Moth's barrier was perfect. And the barrage here from Ding, is, you would have to imagine, very likely going to be shut down by Choyobin, barring a mistake in terms of positioning. And look at how the Shock are standing here. They're all behind Choyobin. You want to barrage us, you're going to have to get past one of the best divas in the world. He's looking for an opportunity.
Coalescence going to be used by Violet. It's under a little bit of pressure.
There's a hack, though.
Hack goes forward onto Choyobin. The barrage not coming through yet. Not a juicy enough opportunity, but now he's going to find it, but the hack is expired. D-Matrix comes in. Rascal's still going to get picked, but that's by DMs. The barrage doesn't net them much. With Super getting finished off, Choyobin hacked again. Maybe Dragons can get this flip. It's 85% of the moment for the Shock. Choyobin going to get knocked out, finished off. They look to get themselves here on the board. Violet buys a little bit more time trying to force out that 99%. Sinatra gets slept.
All right, so this fight here for the Dragons, they've got 2 choices. They could try to use Gomsu at the front line to hold on to things, to defend Sinatra's EMP and counter EMP afterwards, or they can chase and go for spawn. They could take the fight off the point using DM's EMP first to try to strike against the Shock before they can use their own. They know there's no sound barrier, so if they can hit Sinatra, it's basically a 1 fight. They're gonna be aggressive.
Yep, Supercharger going to be coming down. Halt there, but the bubble blocking out a lot of that damage coming through. Super jumps into the back of the point. Young Jin going to be operating here by himself for the moment. Another EMP goes through. Now matched. 3 on either side, but Young Jin the first one to fall now. Luffy going to be taken down again, and Ding does not stand a chance. Unable to get that barrage online. And now it's just cleanup time for the San Francisco Shock as they look to finish this one off. The Primal comes in. Super, he can feel it. He wants that reverse sweep. Now it's 99%. They get the tag in briefly by Koma to force out overtime, but somebody's got to get there. They got to get there fast. DM, he jumps forward with the translocator, but he gets finished off. Now Koma's got to do it. The armor keeps him alive for a little bit longer. They get that nano boost over onto Ding as he tries to stay alive. Res comes through for DM. Shanghai Dragons, can they try to pull this one off? It's a hack on the Ding as a barrage becomes available. Rascal's going to be taken down. Choyobin barely manages to make it back into the back. And now the sound barrier comes out from Moth. He's trying to keep everybody tied up. The barrage coming in, looking for the kills. He gets Violet, he gets Choyobin. The Bio-Nade on it too. Super's taken down.
Incredible bio grenade from Luffy helps turn this around.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable turn. Absolutely crazy. But they've got 60% left before they're going to be stage champions here. San Francisco Shock still have great ultimates here in the in the EMP and the Primal, but they're going to have to deal with DM's EMP, and this time you imagine he's going to get it off first. He's going to have it in a better position. Here it comes.
He's jumping forward. He manages to find 4. Super bashed up. Has that Primal Rage online, but cannot use it yet. But they haven't been able to finish him off, and Young Jin's going to be taking down Rascal, finding that first kill with a rally rolling. Now the answering EMP comes through. 4 members going to be hacked out, and there are the kills. There was an impressive hold from the Shanghai Dragons to get that foot back through, but now Shock, they're back in control on the back of the Primal Rage. The OT will take away, and we are not done yet. Shock get another map win on the board.
Incredible fights here. Rascal hits the armor pack onto Choyobin, who's low. He's rallying, and his rally lets them live through the EMP. They knew it was coming. They took the fight on their terms in a choke point. And San Francisco Shock are bouncing back in this series. Will the Dragons and the old Kongdu squad let this one slip away again?
1 map away for the Dragons, 2 for the Shock. They have that momentum. We'll see if they can close it out when they come back.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile. The San Francisco Shock are halfway to completing a reverse sweep, but the Dragons need just one more map to take the Stage 3 title. It's Shanghai, up 3-2 after 5 maps. Welcome back, everybody. It's Chris Bucket at the desk. We've got Zoe, Bren, and Sideshow. And Sideshow was losing his business backstage about 3 minutes ago. He's like, Shock have done it. They've won it. No, Shanghai's doing it. But the Shock can still do it.
Yeah, it's insane. This entire series has been nuts. And in those clutch kind of scenarios, comes down to who's got the better mentality. Shock have been here before, twice already this season. They know what's required of them. Shanghai have always come second in all of these big matches. That's got to be on their mind.
Let's take a look at how we got here after our first 2 maps. It was Shanghai with the 2-0 lead. Then we went to Horizon. And what were you expecting as we loaded up this map? Both teams have looked pretty strong on Horizon in the past.
Well, we've seen the best looks, honestly, coming out from when San Francisco Shock are actually running Sinestro and the Sombra, I feel, as well. A lot of the times, even though it's not the cleanest play, or not the cleanest Sombra play that we've seen so far in the league, it feels like it works, admittedly, a lot better than the previous compositions they're playing against the Dragons. But the Dragons, they come in, they play their compositions, they love to play, as you can see here, comboing up with the barrages into the EMPs, and it's just clinical time and time again. But they're so good outside of that as well, playing a lot of the neutral games. Move over to Havana, though, and this is where it starts to turn around a little bit, and you start to wonder, you know, how far a Shock going to remain resilient in terms of their mental during this game, and they definitely proved it, I think, as well.
They did, but I felt like they really dropped it at the very, very, very end there. I feel like a few select players got a little bit impatient and may have overstepped some boundaries there. However, overall, it was still a very, very good map play from both of those teams. San Francisco is not their strongest map per se, but they also haven't played it quite as often as some other teams. So yeah, it was hard to predict really where this one is going. I think it all came down to the last EMP from DM, where he got impatient, threw the translocator in, it got destroyed, then he threw the next one right after and just dropped his EMP, and that didn't work out for them. However, overall, very, very, very close game.
We got to talk about that 5th map, because we knew it was Shanghai on match point. And we're going to another control, something where you gambled 3 new starters with the map 1 because you're not confident in this game mode.
But the important one here is, first of all, that this is the only map San Francisco Shock has a losing record on.
That's crazy.
And Shanghai are going to be kicking themselves as they drop this opportunity. This was their map pick. They go into Ilios. They're currently, I believe, 5-1
They're
on
so
this
good
map.
at Ilios.
They are phenomenal at Ilios, but San Francisco Shock came out and they adapted to a lot of what they were running.
And this is the resilience of the winner's mentality that the Shock has shown us here. The ability to spring back on your worst map.
Swear down,
tie things up,
right now,
tie things up.
shake my hand. I swear to God, we are going down right now to a map 7.
What's
Like, it's
happening?
happening.
We're going
It's
map
going to
7.
I could
It's
totally
going to
see it.
distance. Like, that was but the Shanghai are going to be kicking themselves
Yeah,
in
but
that break
honestly,
room right now.
that
in the
very
dugout.
last round there on Ruins, it was Sinatra stepping it up on that Sombra. It was Choi playing that diva we wanted to see from him all game long, and we haven't really seen him popping off. But now it really came together for them. So that was just really well played by San Francisco.
All right, Bren guaranteed us a Game 7. Let's talk about how we get there, because it's going to be Shanghai picking the next map. Josh, what are their options here as we're going once again?
Well, I mean, you can see why I was so angry that the San Francisco Shock picked Numbani before. I feel like this could be a 3-2 game for the Shock at the moment if they had gone to Hollywood. Shanghai Dragons 0-6 on that map. It doesn't play into their style very well at all. I feel like this should be a gimme for the Shock to take us into a map 7. Once we get there, I feel like it's anybody's game, honestly, but Escort tends to favor the San Francisco Shock. The Shanghai Dragons aren't looking so good on it. I would also be reasonably happy if we went to Eichenwald. I feel like Numbani was just the pick that they shouldn't have gone to in the slightest. But then when you look at their Escort maps, it will be the Shanghai Dragons pick if we get there, because the San Francisco Shock would have to have won that map to even force us to a Game 7. At that point, what do you go for? Not Gibraltar, essentially. You really don't want to be on a map where San Francisco Shock is 7-0. So it feels like we should have a decent understanding of where the map pool is going from here. And the only one that was weird early on is Numbani. But I'm with you, Brent. I'm feeling a map 7 here. The San Francisco Shock look on fire. They look like they've got a better read of what Shanghai are doing.
All right, Blizzard Arena, please make some noise. We've had 5 incredible games. Make it 6 coming up after the break. Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Team up for special attack.
Welcome back. The plot continues to thicken here as San Francisco Shock are able to put some wins on the board. Now 2 maps just need 2 more if they can pull off a reverse sweep. Shanghai Dragons, they're on the cusp. They just need 1 more map. It's going to be their pick again. But Shock, they have the momentum on their side.
They certainly do, and now the maps start to thin out in terms of maps that the massive advantage goes to Shanghai, right? We saw Shock pick Numbani, big favor to Shanghai. Then we saw the map pick come in of Ilios, again, massive favor to Shanghai. They took Ilios away, and they're 1 map a win from tying us up the series and bringing us to that final map, Game 7. When we head into our next map, you have to think, as we go to repeat hybrid, that it will not be Hollywood. It will be Eichenwald. In fact, I was going to say the reason why is because on Hollywood, you don't really get to play your style as the Shanghai Dragons. You don't really get to utilize Pharah as easily. There's Sombra Pharah play, Widow completely irrelevant against great teams right now. So Eichenwald allows you to play your style so much more. It's a map that the records are pretty even for the Dragons on here, 2 and 3, but obviously the Shock have excelled on. But that's, I think, more of the win rate of the Shock on all maps across the board. I mean, they had a golden stage, right? These stats are going to be somewhat inflated against some of the weaker teams.
Precisely.
I think that this is absolutely a map the Dragons can win. But I'm most excited to find out if the Shock is going to continue to adapt into the Sombra. We're going to see that, or they're going to run goats at all here. I mean, when you get to the drawbridge, it's the land of Pharah Widow.
Let's see what these guys got. Shanghai Dragons starting things off on the defense. Gamsu just going to be set up with the Orisa. DM on the Sombra, and Ding, of course, on that Pharah. Youngjin be patiently waiting.
All right, Sinatra.
Yeah, he's playing back. He's waiting for the scouting report. Now he's going to be swapping over to the Hog.
Yep, Sinatra on the Sombra here as well. Looks like he's going to be sticking with it, so we will see Rascal Pharah. And for Youngjin, you know, I mean, no Doomfist here for the defense. Going to make it a lot tougher. Shut down the Shock strategy.
Yep, into the back. Lippy going to get hacked out. DM trying to go toe-to-toe with Sinatra here, but hasn't been able to offer up too much damage. Now Gamsu and Koma both going to be eliminated. San Francisco Shock looking to burst their way through. Get this cap onto A already. One tick going to be snagged up. Second one is nearly there. And this is going to be theirs. Fantastic start for the Shock. Just be able to finish that out. 5 minutes, 40 seconds in the time bank.
And it doesn't look like it. It's always hard to see, you know, with all the chaos going on. But Sinatra was one of the big factors of that attack going so well. His infiltration of the back line, the threat that he put onto DM himself nearly killed him. So DM wasn't relevant in the fight. And the Rascal got to do more damage, and everything just flowed swimmingly for Choyobin, who ended up doing the majority of the damage in that last fight. So, halt hook here.
Yep, pull going to be coming through. Violet eliminated as the cart gets ready to push through the first little gateway here. But DM now going to be taken down as well. So both of these Roadhogs helping find these pickoffs for their squad.
All right now is when they need to make the big stand.
EMP's out, manages to find 5, and Rascal's going to be res back through for the side of the Shock. They'll be going low, trying to survive. They'll pull him over to the side, and Sinatra is there to scoop the kill. It's going to be a 3-for-1 Shock, wildly coming out on top.
Wildly coming out on top indeed. Oh, that was a close call there. The hook does not connect, but they get through the gate. That was where the Dragons really need to make their stand. As I was saying before that fight broke out, that's where they were going to have their best advantages with the Pharah, with the Sombra, and what is now a mirror composition across the board here. San Francisco Shock out of ultimates, but the Dragons don't get that same advantage that they would have had in the Archway here, even with the bridge to wrap around, and they're not running the Widow, it's just the Pharah.
Well, we have seen how many teams have gotten locked up here. EMP out, Super going to be taken down. Ding looking to hold on to that barrage as long as he can. Sinatra gets a drop down, will translocate out. Youngjin traded by Rascal. Now, Nano Boost tossed in. He's looking for the hits. He sees Violet, takes him down.
Yeah, that's the exchange of the nanos.
Can't get the push back there, but Barrage going to be dropped in. Choyobin doesn't stand a chance, but Sinatra's there to go ahead and kill him off, and the cart is still advancing. Both eliminated, but they still get closer and closer. Gamsu over on the side here by himself, trying to go toe-to-toe with Super. Will get taken down, but Super himself will be held back.
Now the Dragons have the opportunity to either try to control this bridge or look for control of the choke point. We will see the Shock swap heroes over to the Winston variation of the Sombra play we've been seeing from them a lot this evening. And it is going to be the Dragons, instead of just letting them walk through, they're going to take the back approach. Right now, you're seeing a ton of rocket fire coming from behind the San Francisco Shock.
EMP's out, however, from Sinatra, manages to find 3, and one of them is the person trying to offer up those rockets. Think gets taken down, Choyobin spamming away, manages to come up with a couple kills, and Moth gets the boop off there. So crush their way through the defense. Shanghai Dragons now looking to stabilize again. 4.5 minutes for this final stretch of Eichenwald.
A great time bank here for the Shock. The Dragons were split on what they wanted to do. They had Ding in the back, but they were able to, the Shock were, get Sinatra into position for a big EMP, and the squad just wasn't there to capitalize. Luffy had used his nano boost in the previous fight, and now the Shock here, again, very low ultimates, but they've got the time to build them. You feel great if you're a San Francisco fan right now.
Gonna stand up there on the side. EMP comes in. DM gonna get picked up, but he still manages to catch 5. Super bionated, but no one can get the kill. And suddenly, the Dragons, one of their biggest tools, is just taken away from them at the cost of nothing for the Shock. Bionade onto 2, Coalescence comes down, but they peel back around the corner, and Violet gets rid of the supercharger.
Suddenly, this
no
could
more
be
amp damage coming in.
This could be a finish.
Orb gonna be thrown in, Luffy will get res back in, Whole Hog out from Youngjin, manages to take down Super. Might be enough to buy them a bit more time. You can see the retreats coming through. Through the hook, unable to find it, everyone else making it out with their lives. But barely so. Shanghai Dragons able to scrape by with that defense.
Youngjin and Ding making it happen there. Those critical ultimates. And they did it before Sinatra had EMP. If he had EMP in that fight, was able to use it before those ults went off, we'd be seeing a 3.5 minute plus time bank on C. Here comes the EMP.
Yep, jump forward goes in, gets to the pharmacy comp plus Gamsu. They manage to take him down. Primal rages out from Super. He's going to be taking a nap for now. Luffy rocking him to bed. The cart keeps getting closer and closer. 1.78 meters left to go, but the kills are coming in. The pharmacy is going to be gone. They get the res on the Gamsu. The staying power is just not going to be there. He's by himself. Look at taken down. 3 minutes flat left in the time bank. San Francisco Shock, they finish Eichenwald.
The 6-1 record here for the San Francisco Shock. They might be able to pull that to a 7-1 right now with a great time bank. And this map, fully controlled by them. They were never under threat of being mismatched by the Dragons. They ran a mirror composition and honestly, quite frankly, ran it better. They hit the better EMPs, the more timely ones. Rascal continuing to impress on the Brigida all series long. And it's starting to come up with wins for them now. They were able to get a great time bank, and all they need now is a decent defense, and you're going to feel great about your chances of shutting this map out. And you're not afraid on this map anymore because you've made adaptations to your roster. You're not afraid that you're going to get countered. You know, they might have run Reinhardt Zarya previously at the beginning of the series on this map. Not anymore. They figured out what's working for them against what the Dragons are running. You're no longer scared of the Pharah and the Sombra. You're no longer scared of DM and Ding because you're coming up better with your DPS players. What
Shanghai
could be.
Now getting ready to go on their attack. 3 minutes is impressive to say the least here from the Shock. So tough nut to crack for Shanghai Dragons on this attack. We'll see what they can get done. Gamsu and Youngjin seems like they're still going to be sticking through with that whole hook, the oink and yoink, whatever you want to call it.
Well, I mean, for the Dragons here, you're running into a mirror composition. And this was your style, the Pharah, but you've had to make adaptations. You've had to adapt to the, you know, halt hooks. And we saw a lot from Vancouver, right? And Soccer winning this mirror. They've created a mirror matchup that's favored for them. It's not how this series started.
Certainly not. Rockets coming in, Youngjin already taking a lot of damage there. We'll be all right. Ding just trying to wrap around the backside, trying to get an angle, but Rascal is privy to this. He's just trying to contest him, but at the same time, Gamsu going to be taken down. Suddenly, Dragons a bit too far forward behind enemy lines, have to go ahead and peel back towards the spawn. Hook on the hook. Oh, no.
I mean, halt hook seems like an easy thing to coordinate the hit, but it's a lot more complicated than meets the eye. That's another of those examples of how quick the Shock are to make these things happen, these combos. Grab Luffy there. Another one.
Youngjin going to be taken down. And this same combo is just so much more impactful on the side of the defense. You're set up, you're not advancing, you're just staying in one place, whereas the Dragons, they have to try to inch their way forward. And so far have just been unable to do so. Ding applying a bit of pressure, but you can see in the ult charge comparing the Pharahs that Rascal is the one who's been more impactful. He's got the barrage closer.
It's the halt hooks that are really making it happen, right? I mean, this is a Pharah v Pharah in the sky here, but on the ground, Youngjin is getting destroyed by Choyabin in terms of the damage output here on the Hogs.
They finally managed to find one. Sinatra got slept and finished off by Luffy. Rascal as well going to be taken down. The hook comes in. Finally, the Shanghai Dragons can start pushing forward. Super's not going to be able to do anything here. Will get cleaned up. They've finally broken through. And the Shanghai Dragons, but it's with just over 2 minutes remaining in that time bank. They'll get a bump up, but they have to have a very strong second phase of Eichenwald. They want to come close to that 3-minute mark.
Now notice where the Dragons are coming out to stand right now. They're not going to allow the San Francisco Shock to get position on this archway. They pay for it, actually. It's a trade here. But Youngjin's way overextended too.
Gets the kill on the Violet. Takes a breather and will be able to make his way out.
Very risky what they just did.
Never mind. Gets hooked in.
But they don't get the control of the archway, right? The Shock don't get what they wanted. They're approaching it now. You know what? I may have misspoke because they've got control of it now. You know, the res came through, but they weren't able to take back this high ground.
And look at what we have here. Six ultimates about to be available
on both sides.
DPS in the game. That's a rare thing. Hook coming through. Choyabin going to be taken down. Youngjin trying to survive. He pops the whole hook, but the Bionade ensures his demise. They take him out. Res will be there. That's one fewer ultimates here for the side of the Shanghai Dragons as they try to make their way out. Another Bionade connects in onto Gamsu. Youngjin going to be taking a nap as he gets pulled through. EMP goes out from Sinatra, catches 4. Barrage hammer from Ding, looks to turn things around. Gets rid of Violet. No Sleep Dart able to come in, and now they will clean them up.
DM with the EMP there that saves Luffy and shuts down the barrage. The Shock gonna make some adaptations here. Violet back onto the Moira, Rascal onto the Brigida. The Shanghai Dragons, as they roll around this corner, are gonna have free reign with the Pharah to damage those of the Shock that try to come out of the chokes. Controlling this drawbridge is going to be very difficult in the open. They might have to just simply sit, wait, and poke until they actually get on the bridge itself. They're trying to wrap around onto the high ground right now to drop down, but look at the reaction here from the Dragons. They're ready.
Yeah, leap comes in from Super. Will be knocked down to about half HP so far. Trying to stay alive. Violet gonna be taken down, and they get the pop here onto Choi Hope Inspector, trying desperately to boop Youngjin off the side, but have just been unable to do so. The hack wears off. Hook gonna miss, but he takes a breather to stay alive.
Yep, I mean, this is how Roadhog tanks. He just simply is a battery for damage, but once he gets his heal off, you know, after the hack, that so much damage, so many wasted cooldowns into Youngjin as the Dragons clean up house. They went for the contest on the bridge there, trying to take that high ground drop down, but that's why Hog is so great at peeling against this type of situation.
Violet pushing his way out, looking to contest first. Barrage comes in, Nano Boost gonna be tossed down on top of it. Violet gets caught up in the fire. Will be eliminated as the Supers. The whole Hog comes in from Youngjin. Dash up for the moment, 0.81 meters left to go to push this into B and get that time bank up. San Francisco Shock, they just want to drain this down as much as they possibly can, but now the EMP comes through. The kills do follow. 3.5 minutes in the time bank for Shanghai Dragons, so not really going to be a superior time bank for them, but still can make this close.
If they hadn't forced DM's EMP, it would have been a pretty egregious contest there for the Shock with the already advantaged time bank they had, but because they forced that EMP, they now have their own. They've got support ultimates coming online here. They are easily going to be able to burn this clock down a lot lower than where it is now.
EMP comes in, manages to find 4. Looking for the kills though. Super off of the primal range, swinging away. Tries to get a corner onto somebody, is unable to do so. Good force there from the Shanghai Dragons to manage to get rid of that EMP. Now Rascal, caught up for the moment, gets bionated, but Luffy is going to get ramped down by Choi Helven. And it's the Shock who have controlled the cart here on the inside of the castle.
Now the Shock really start to solidify their chances of bringing this to a 7th map here.
Swapping up.
And, you know, you see the Sinatra Reaper. This is really great on points like this where you're trying to buy time. The threat of the Reaper alone can force, you know, a Roadhog back. It's not about the Death Blossom. It's not about the big kills. It's not about that ult charge. It's actually just about the threat. And you have tank bustability. You can catch a Sombra if you're lucky.
Yeah.
But this is about just flanking from behind. Look at this.
TP right up into the front. Ain't going to be taken down. Violet traded out as that Nano Hog comes in from Youngjin. Burns down Super. Did not stand a chance when Sinatra is hacked out. Makes him very vulnerable. Can't use that Wraith Walk. Can't teleport. Can't do anything. They cleaned him up. They've broken through. A minute shy at the moment from the Shock's record, but they have that EMP barrage.
All right, DM versus Moth here for the EMP. As you say, the EMP barrage can be everything, but if Moth doesn't even get the sound barrier off, then none of that's gonna matter. Here's the supercharger for the damage output boost.
Toss into the back, Super, speaking of which, gonna go low and Moth, he gets hacked! The EMP, it connects onto Lucio, barrage and instantly melts down 2. Fork on now, Moth killed off Choi Helven, trying desperately to use that self-destruct, but it's not gonna matter. Shanghai Dragons, they cruise through into the end, and now we've got overtime rounds coming up.
They're half the time bank, though, of the San Francisco Shock, and that is critical, especially considering how well Shock's previous attack run went. The Shanghai Dragons are going to have to do something really impressive with the limited time bank they have. And we'll have to see what composition they want to run to make that happen with, because they cannot get stalled and delayed again by the halt hooks coming out on the side of the San Francisco Shock. Choi Ho-bin crushing the Roadhog matchup ever since we started on Oasis. Now let's take a look at Moth getting caught by this EMP, which gives them the opportunity to win this map and series in itself. It just barely hits Moth over the wall. He's on the edge. You can see he's not even in where it shows in animation because he's stepped out of it.
Right in the Achilles heel.
Yeah.
Well, crucial there from DM. A bit of blind luck, to be honest.
I mean, look,
either way, it's crucial for them to get that finish.
It's a small mistake from Moth. And it's hard to know exactly where the range of that EMP is going to be. And he knew that if he was too far back, his sound barrier wasn't going to hit the players that he needed to. So it's it's really thin ice that you're treading. as the main support here, in this case, the Lucio, the boss playing. For the defense, we are going to see that composition, Choyoben and Super, the tank duo for the halt hooks. The Dragons going to mirror this. It did not go well for them previously.
Yeah. It was very rough.
It goes way better.
Youngjin swapping over onto the Hog now. Twice as much time to start for the Shock, 3 minutes even. Shanghai Dragons, 1:29 and already starting to dwindle away. Yeah, pushing forward, nearly just jumps in front of that shot. Violet, he's detected him. He knows that he's somewhere nearby. Looks in for the hack. Violet gonna be hacked out, goes low, and he manages to find the kill. DM, can he jump out? 2 HP remaining. He does make it out of there. Rascal's got a sliver of HP, but they haven't been able to finish him off yet. The pocket comes in from Boss, arrives just in time after rezzing Violet back into the fight. Youngchin gonna be hooked in, Bionade connects onto him, and he's gonna be taken down. Now we're at 50 seconds remaining. HP bar is rather low on the side of the Shock, but Violet's doing his damnedest to try to pump it back up.
They've got
first
control.
stick, however, gonna be grabbed. And now San Francisco Shock, they have to retake the point.
Barrage isn't ready yet.
Nano gonna be tossed in, the barrage nearly there, now has it online. Choyoben looking for somebody to hook.
Ding holds this, even with the Nano, he holds
Hanging
it.
on it, but now Cole and Youngjin both gonna be taken down. Luffy eliminated as well. 23 seconds remaining. He knows that they have one more chance to try to make this happen.
That was a beautiful shot there from our observers. Ding holding the barrage there, knowing the fight is lost. It's over. He has to use it in the next fight.
DM's wrapping around the back right now. He's gonna have to be the one to force out onto the point as we get ready to move into overtime.
He cannot get hooked here.
They should be aware of this.
Yes, they are.
After, however, he's playing up into the front using the EMP. Manages to catch out two. Youngjin and Luffy both gonna be taken low. The point cap nearly comes in, and now Rascal gonna be taken out of the sky. Sting, however, falling low, and he'll get finished off. And they can't get there in time.
Massive hold here for the San Francisco Shock. 1.5 minutes was the time bank they had. It was weak, but they were once again able to make this defense work. The halt hooks, the defense of the Sombra, the defense of one of the best Pharahs in the league in Ding. It's a mirror matchup. Again, the Shock are winning.
Ding doesn't go down there. Who knows? Take a look at Choyoben's perspective here in all of this chaos. Casually pulling him right out of the sky.
All right, so heading into this, remember that a draw is possible, but that does not mean that a draw is the win condition for the Shanghai Dragons.
Well, no, I think it's still trying to get this. 92,
oh, that's right, yeah.
92.9% is what was built up by the Shanghai Dragons. Very dangerously close to getting the cap there onto A. If they can stop Shock short of that, they can still close this series, but Shock, they want to go to the distance. They want that reverse sweep, map 7.
Well, just to explain the rules anyways, if there were a draw here, you need the 4th map anyways. It's not like our regular season. I would say it got caught up there in the hype there. There's no draw possible.
Oh, good. We got so much of it.
All right,
Plenty
so
to go around.
Going into the compositions again, look at this mirror once more. And the Dragons are going to have to outperform this time if they want this title right now.
Translocator thrown down, but Sinatra going to get spy checked. Instantly brought out of that stealth. DM hounding him. Hold hook going to be coming in. Youngjin pulled. Trying to stay alive with the Bionade. Comes through. He's got a sliver of HP. He barely makes it around the corner. Ding, however, going to be taking a nap. But being finished off now. Ding going to be gone. San Francisco Shock. They're pushing their way through. 3 kills to them. The hack onto Youngjin. They're trying to get even more. Gamsu by himself. Going to be taken down. Coleman doing what he can.
There's no way.
But the pharmacy doesn't stand a chance. And San Francisco Shock will take us to one final map. Map 7 coming up. Looking for the reverse sweep.
It looked to Ilios like it might have been one of our most one-sided stage finals in Overwatch League history, but they are bringing it back. The reverse sweep is possible. Shock have brought us to that final map, and they may be able to get the back-to-back stage finals. Things are slipping away fast for the Dragons. The Shock have adapted. And what a great series this turned out to be.
One more map to decide it all. Let's see who comes out on top. Who is the champion when we come back?
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.
Next special attack. Gale the Mahal.
Welcome back. We are here at the end of the line. One more map standing between these two teams to see who can come out on top and be our Stage 3 champions. San Francisco Shock, they are so close to pulling off a reverse sweep in a stage final. Unprecedented performance from these guys. Shanghai Dragons still just trying to stabilize.
I know a lot of people get tired of me talking about the history of a lot of these Korean teams, right? Shanghai Dragons, Chinese team with a Korean roster, and this has happened to the Kongdu squad before. They lost the Apex Season 2 finals. Rascal and Luffy lost that finals in an 8th map. You and I commentated until late in the evening. Then we went into the runaway Panthera finals. They were up. They were in a massive lead. They choked it away in another 8th map to close out the series. We don't do an 8th map here because we're at 3-3. We're tied up. This map will decide everything. And will they let it slip away again, a 3-0 lead? There's a history for this with this squad. They brought Shanghai, the org, to their first finals. Will they close it out? Or are the San Francisco Shock going to do what no one thought possible after Horizon?
Well, again, it is their map pick. Hasn't worked out too well for them these last two. But Dorado will be the selection for the Shanghai Dragons. And I think back to the start of the season with this new roster from the Dragons debuting and Youngjin moving away from the cart in overtime. C9ing, as we call it, and sacrificing that series. A lot more on the line here.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, and that was the Dragons really just finding their footing. That was back at Stage 1, and where they were really starting to solidify themselves as a roster that's worked out its synergy. I mean, the Shock had that pre-existing synergy. Sinatra's finally come online, right? Best Aria player in the world, but he's playing the Sombra. It's a great effect in this series. And you can feel the energy on the side of the Shock. They've drained it all out of the Dragons. This is a massive momentum shift. They will attack first here. No hog for this one. Just gonna scope things out first. It is a very strong map for Widow Pharah.
Moving forward here. Sinatra is looking around the back, hunting. Manages to find DM. Sees Luffy nearby, knows that there's a sleep dart, so needs to play around these sightlines to ensure that he does not get taken down. Revealed for a moment, jumps back safely.
DM, good line of sight here until the corner rolls around.
Hack goes through on the ding right after he uses the booster, so gets that distance up into the air, allows him to escape for a little bit longer. Hack now going to be wearing off, and he's already got that barrage online. Everybody from the side of the San Francisco Shock trying to hide inside as the barrage comes in. Troy Hilbin going to be the only one picked off so far.
Unfortunately, you know, the Shock are kind of caught out here. They have to try to take this fight and build ults. We are going to see the commitment there to the armor pack, but it's pretty much an unwinnable fight.
Yep, Sinatra taken down by DM. Really helps ensure that, delays that EMP, only 49%. Bullets that were going to be used by Violet. Manages to find one, but he needs so much more to make this worth it.
He might swap here, but I mean, look, that wasn't going to be it. Sinatra only getting 15% more of his EMP charge. He started at 35 when the fight was lost. Violet doesn't look like he's swapping at all here. He's going to stick with this. It does build quickly, mind you, so not a super over egregious usage.
Rascal now going to be taken down. Too far forward by himself. Super going to be using the Primal Rage, but Natural Hilbin going to be out of the mech, so not much for damage mitigation. And oh, Luffy, he survives with a sliver of HP. In the meantime, DM is just popping heads.
He's got a double here, maybe a triple.
Doesn't quite get that final blow
Luffy
on the
steals
Super,
it.
but the damage is done.
Okay.
Shanghai Dragons holding strong.
This is the fight that the Shock should be able to win, though, in theory. They have a rally for the staying power. They have EMP, and there's no nano boost. Valkyrie isn't going to be much against this EMP that's upcoming right now. They're going to have vision of where he's going to approach from right now, though, with this Impresight. You can see the vision advantage here for DM. You cannot show your face, you cannot show your head, or it's going to get taken off. They're going to have to sit through this. Great respect to the best Widowmaker player in the world here from the Shock, but now the EMP is ready.
And Ding scouting out a bit there as well, pushing forward as the Infrasight does expire. Poison Trap dealing for a little bit longer. We're down to a minute and a half remaining here for the San Francisco Shock. Rally out from Rascal to lead the charge as they start pushing forward. Is offering up that extra armor to everybody around him. Ding goes low. EMP out, Gamsu gonna get dropped. Youngjin trying to stay alive. Pops that whole hog, but isn't gonna lead to any kills here for himself. So Hyobin pushes forward to try to disrupt Ding up into the air. The cart is rolling.
He wants to use it, but he can't. He just can't here. They don't have the numbers advantage.
It's another hack now onto Youngjin. Violent with the Coalescence. Builds him up so quickly. Comes up with a kill onto Kalma. And now Luffy as well. Gonna get burned down. That's the cap onto A for the Shock. Not gonna be full health. Now 3.5 minutes for the next phase.
Now Sinatra has, he's been playing great on the Sombra tonight, and he has an opportunity now to get into the back and harass DM on the Widow while also building that charge. That's something that you have the opportunity to do as Sombra.
Gets a hack there onto Ding. Do they play forward for it? No, takes a rocket.
Yeah, that's the riskier pick, is to try to go for the Pharah. Does almost get that off. But DM's again got the Impresight, so full vision. This is going to be a tough fight to take for the Shock.
Oh, don't think you want a barrage in there.
No, but you can get a lot of damage done.
You can. Bubbles used,
yes.
So they are aware of that now. Pops it this time, and now Rascal and Sinatra, they get taken down. Their one means of protection, really. Taken away. Super used it, and thinks it's okay, sure.
Ding's Pharah has been highlighted as one of the mechanically best in the world. And it's not just about concussive blaster accuracy. Sometimes it's just about how many times he's been in this situation where he knows the exact timing of that bubble disappearing to hit the big barrage.
Yep, Super picked out a spawn. Sinatra over by the cart for a moment. We'll go ahead and leap back. He's 15% away from that EMP.
This is sometimes in certain metas checkmate when you have a Widow, aiming down your spawn. Most teams will try to match in that case, but San Francisco Shock have too many ults to swap. They have to stick with this. They're going to use the barriers.
Push out to the other side, but Super just going to be eliminated right off the bat again. Sinatra's in the back trying to harass as best as possible. They'll have the EMP, but they have to be able to get over towards the cart to take a fight.
This is absolutely nuts right now, how much control DM has over this map. Even getting out to use the EMP is a challenge right now for Sinatra. Super's trying to lead the charge. He's trying to dive in with Shoyobin, but we're seeing the hooks come through from Youngjin. That's the peel they need. The damage comes through. They're going to have the barrage for this fight. Rally's out.
Primal Rage going through from Super League via some space. Sound barrier comes in, getting that shield out onto everybody here. On the side of the Shock, DM pounded down. One final swipe just before he can get that health pack. Does manage to finish him off. Something circle 3 open, not going to be able to find a pick, but now the barrage comes in from over top. EMP is out from Sinatra. It catches 5. And so far, they only managed to find 1 as Gamsu gets taken down. Everybody else popped up. Gamsu now going to be res back in coma. I don't know how he continues to do this, but he keeps getting down onto the ground. And Gamsu, as he comes back from the dead, gets rid of Joy Hillman, gets rid of Rascal.
That was such an interesting usage there, too, from Violet. He used the damage orb instead of the healing orb. They needed that sustained healing. They are now going to get cleaned up, it appears, but this is a great fight for the
DM. Comes up with 2. Malt and Super going to be eliminated. We're down below a minute remaining. 50 seconds on the clock.
And they kept fighting there after a lost fight. Shoyobin's on Wrecking Ball because they wanted to fight that stagger fight. He's going to have to go back and swap. This is so much time bought for the Dragons at DM. It's just not missing the shots.
He's not doing it. He's staying on with the Wrecking Ball, and that's going to be a barrage coming in for Ding that now has no defense matrix to mitigate.
I don't know if I like this choice.
DM going to be interrupted before he can grapple out. Super going to be leaping forward. Cart starting to advance. They're getting a little bit more space, but Super cleaned up. Violet taken down. Shanghai Dragons looking to hold them right here, right now. 20 seconds remaining as Moth desperately makes his way back over towards the spawn.
It's a really unique choice to try to go for the double dive tanks here. Hasn't really been seen success since Team China in World Cup last year. Oh no.
Oh, and Sinatra
no EMP.
Picked off the EMP is there. Barrage coming through again, just firing it down the hallway. Straight over towards the spawn. Moth tries to tag in, will get taken down. Troy Hoban going to be eliminated. DM has just been on a solo mission in the back the entire time to finish him off. And that is where the cart will stop.
And it's not a far distance to push to win this finals for the Shanghai Dragons to prevent the reverse sweep. The fans are standing here in the crowd, cannot contain themselves. And I gotta say, when things were looking really dire, for the first time this series, where it was, we're going into game 7, you know, momentum is for the Shock. The Dragons hold firm. It's the Shock who kind of choke a little bit in in these fights. You know, we're seeing Choyobin coming on the Wrecking Ball. He feels he has to keep it. We're seeing the damage orb come out from Violet instead of the heals to sustain on the point. You know, and Wrecking Ball Winston, that combo, I mentioned it before, but it's not really seen today. It was used very briefly, a little bit last year, but it's not common. And they felt desperate. They felt like that was going to be their best way to punch through the defense of the Dragons, who had line of sight advantage, had that advantage with the Pharah Widow. But that's where the cart needs to go. And
Not too far.
And I don't know what's more impressive, the Dragons are able to prevent this reverse sweep and push it there now, or if the Shock are able to stop the cart just outside of A.
I mean, if they're able to do that, that is the reverse sweep completed for the San Francisco Shock. Cart, eerily similar placement compared to when Youngjin did, in fact, move away from it.
Indeed. This is a championship defense for the Shock or a championship attack for the Dragons. It's as simple as that. No mistakes really possible when you're looking at a short distance past A. You cannot allow that cart to go through. You can't give a big time bang. Once again, mirrors.
Yep. He's looking for that Sonic Arrow. Will swap over. And Rascal's taken out of the fight. Coma was eliminated, but now Moth. Oh, he's trying to float, but isn't a bunch of...
Oh, Choi!
Oh, man, what a jump scare. Comes in from behind. Moth will get taken down, but Choyobin gets rid of DM. Scrappy off the bat. I like it. Sinatra now trying to play forward. Gets the hack there on the ding, ensuring that the Pharah remains on the ground, but that forward position is going to be surrendered.
Surprised to see DM stick with the Widow here. He really wants to control the Pharah battle, and that's what they're going to roll with. He's got advantage here.
Look for the hook. Youngjin getting pulled through, slept, bionated, everything thrown at this guy in the kitchen sink, and he will get taken out.
I was going to say, as advantage till the barrier comes up, the barrier makes it impossible for him to do that damage.
While taken out of the sky, another hook from Choyobin.
Nano boost committed here as well.
Yeah, thrown in just for good measure. Ensure that kill comes out. Now Ding trying to stay alive. Another hook from Choyobin. And he just keeps doing this over and over again.
All right. As we go into this next fight, DM's going to have infra sight, so they're going to have a little bit of extra vision as to where the supports are. I think Ding's going to go for one of his trademark support assassination barrages, where he goes into the back line, looks to blow them up. It's way easier said than done right now, though, on this map. Getting to that back line.
Shots coming through. DM unable to do much. Can't penetrate that barrier set up. Rascal goes low, but will be able to stabilize. But no, now DM, he does manage to find the shot. Gets rid of him. And that's going to be a very tough press. Barrage comes in on the back of that Bionade. 2 kills over. DM gets rid of Moth. Pharmacy completely dismantled. And now Sinatra, just moments before that EMP.
He's not going to choke and use it too early this time. He does get picked. But they're going to have to use this barrage, and they're going to have to hold for 4 minutes. The EMP is the first way to try to turn the ult economy on its head right now, because it is, you know, in the favor of the Shock right now. They can keep that advantage as long as they don't get picked.
Here around the corner, DM overextending. And a bit overzealous. Will get taken down. Comps managed to fight Choyobin, however. The Rock crazy. Go a little bit wide here for Ding.
All right, Rez comes through. EMP.
EMP gonna be used. Manages to catch out 3, and Youngjin gets taken down. Now Gamsu going as well.
Shock need to hold ults here. After they get these picks. Yeah.
Sinatra swapping over onto the Widowmaker.
I think a smart choice. You're allowing too much freedom for Ding on the far right now with Desombra that doesn't have the ability to EMP anymore. It's a tough matchup into DM, but you have side advantage, at least for the moment. You're gonna assume you're gonna keep that for 4 minutes, or you're losing this finals.
Supercharger coming out first from Gamsu. Super now matching. DM wraps his way around the side. Super gonna be taken down in multiple sliver of HP, tries to survive.
He's going
DM is going for the fight. He's got Sinatra, and Koma scoops in, gets that tag team battle. They take him out. Rez comes back in, Super back into the fight, but a Bionade on the Choyobin now with the barrage layered in. Means they all get taken down. It is just Moth by himself, trying to buy time, but he cannot do it. No one is close. The cart's starting to advance, a Wrecking Ball on the way, but I don't think he's gonna arrive in time. And he will not. Reverse sweep, not gonna happen. The Shanghai Dragons for the first time, will be your Stage 3 champions. They deny it away from the San Francisco Shock.
The Shanghai Dragons, they had an 0-40 season. Last year, they make their first stage finals. They prevent the reverse sweep. They take that 4th win, and it's a huge win for this Korean squad that represents China here in the Overwatch League. They've been so close so many times in their career, but finally they close it out. It's Gamsu, the leader, comes in as a late trade and helps build this roster up. It took a long time. It took 3 stages, but the Shanghai Dragons are the best team in the world today.
The rest of the team comes out to join them. Hugs exchanged. Something that was just a distant dream for the Shanghai Dragons.
Last year, no one could have seen this future. No one could have seen today. But here we are. This is reality. The fans in the studio overwhelmed with what is the truth here. The Shanghai Dragons are Stage 3 champions. They've done it.
Backs against the wall, nearly reverse swept. But they stay stable, and they come out on top. The victory is theirs, but guys, let's throw down to Danny Lim, who is standing by with the entire Shanghai Dragons roster.
Wolf and Ilios, thank you very much. Blizzard Arena, make some noise for your Stage 3 champions, Shanghai Dragons! What a match! Congratulations, guys. It was a very, very close fight, but at the end of the day, it was these Shanghai Dragons taking the crown and becoming the Stage 3 champions. DM, how are you able to get this victory? 자, 오늘 일단 우승 너무나 축하드리고요. 굉장히 접전인 경기였지만은 끝에 가서는 상하이 팀이 우승을 하게 됐습니다. 오늘의 우승 좀 어떻게 할 수 있었나요?
일단 제 위도우가 그냥 거의 다 한 것 같고요. 네, 끝인 것 같아요.
Very short. I think my widow did all the work. That's it. Do you agree? 감수님도.
네, 동의해요.
Kamsu agrees that DM's widow was a whole part of the victory. And Kamsu, first stage champions. This is your first time winning the Stage 3 championship. Anything that you want to say to your fans, to everyone that's watching, everyone celebrating with you for the Shanghai Dragons win? 한 말씀 부탁드릴게요.
사실 제가 거의 프로게임 지 5년이 돼가는데 이렇게 우승한 거는 처음이거든요. 이제 일단 말도 못하게 기쁘고 팬들 다 고맙고 일단 같이 해준 선수들, 코치님들, 뭐 상하이에서 일하시는 모든 분들 정말 감사합니다.
So I've been a pro gamer for the past 5 years, and this is the only time that I've actually won a big tournament or a big win in my career. So it means a lot to me. I want to thank all the fans, all the people who are supporting Shanghai Dragons, all the coaching staff, and also, of course, all the teammates on Shanghai Dragons. Thank you guys so much. And everybody, that's it. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Gamsu. Thank you, Shanghai Dragons. Wolf and Ilios, back to you guys.
I think Gamsu waited long enough. 5 years is a long time to get your first championship victory, but he has it here today, as does the rest of the organization. Thanking the coaching staff, and honestly, these guys have improved this team so much from just the start of the season.
Yeah, I mean, this was an incredible story, and it's something that I think people are going to remember for years to come as the Dragons run through Stage 3 in the 2019 Overwatch League season. Gamsu's first championship, Luffy as well in his 3rd attempt is able to take one, and it's been a long time coming for this squad, and Gamsu brings it all together. What a finish, what a series to win, preventing the reverse sweep. Sometimes that in itself is more impressive than the reverse sweep, you know, is to stop that momentum from swinging away.
Yep, they regained control there with that one final map of Dorado. They're able to close it out. Blizzard Arena, give it up one more time for these guys. A fantastic performance from them. That's it for me and Wolf, but of course, we have the Watch Point post-show coming up next, so make sure you tune in on twitch.tv.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.